I can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you.
You're the only one.
change the future, you know. That's what you remind me.
Came from a broken home. I've seen so many people go.
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We've got a good one on our hands here tonight. We've shifted gears over to the NECC, where both Boise State Blue and Orange are in the playoffs. Boise State Orange will kick things off with a game against Illinois Wesleyan, and if the Broncos Orange squad is victorious, they'll take on the Blue squad in the semifinals, as the Boise State Blue squad is the #1 overall seed, and the champion side got a bye straight to the semifinals. So it is going to be a ton of Overwatch action here, 2 games, and potentially a Broncos showdown, which would guarantee that one Boise State team would make it to the championship. I am Michael Fisher, and before we get into the Overwatch action, we're actually going to be joined by the commissioner of the NECC. Jacob Van Ryn is going to be joining us. And Jacob, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, I have no audio right now, so I can connect that way.
Doesn't look like we can hear him. He unfortunately cannot hear us, so hopefully we can get that one figured out here. Oh, all right, we've got it. So, Jacob, tell me, I just saw you were just recently named, I think last June, as the commissioner of the NECC, and then in December you guys added esports. So what was your reasoning behind adding esports in?
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. I appreciate the time. Quite frankly, it was an initiative driven by our president, recognizing the growth in the space and the importance to our campuses. And they were really on board and really excited about the opportunity. And really what we could do with it and treat it as a true collegiate sport. And that's how we've handled it since day one. From their direction, they said, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this like we do anything else we do with regards to the same thing as women's soccer or baseball or something like that. So they've been on board since day one. It's been terrific to have.
And I know, of course, we've been following the Overwatch here portion because Boise State is in it. I know you guys had Rocket League and Valorant as well. So with the championships coming up, why don't you talk to us? How do you think the first year has gone, and what do you want to do for year number 2?
Yeah, it's been, quite honestly, the first semester has really been overwhelming. We're really excited about this weekend. Obviously, we're going to have 9 championships over the course of the next 3 days. Kicks off tomorrow night with 2 Madden championships, one in PS4, one in Xbox, and then Valorant. And then Saturday and Sunday we'll have Overwatch, Rocket League, and League of Legends. We have 2 divisions in each of those games, which was good for us because, you had an upper echelon program like a Boise State that was able to compete against sort of what we call similar compete level programs. And then you had some newer programs or some programs that were just getting off the ground, and it allowed them to compete in what we call our Challengers division. So that's been popular. Quite honestly, we thought we'd have between 15 and 25 schools competing with us, including the schools from within our own, actual physical conference. We have students from 36 different schools competing with us this semester. So we're really excited. Looking forward, we're optimistic to have over 50 for second semester. We'll have 5 titles once again for the second semester of spring. And, just growth and continue to treat the industry and the community with the respect that we think it deserves. And we're just extremely proud to be a tiny part of it, quite frankly.
No, that's really awesome. I knew you guys had 3 titles. It's awesome you guys have 5 in the fact. So it's going to be it sounds like it'll be a fall and a spring semester thing, so twice a school year basically?
Yeah, and quite honestly, we're running full season slates and championships just like we do, in traditional sports. Full league play. This past semester we had 8 weeks, and quite frankly, that was cut short due to the fact of the pandemic. A lot of places had to send their student athletes home, or students home before Thanksgiving. So we're having our championships this week. We're excited about our second semester. We'll get it underway in February, and then we'll roll through to May. And we're really excited about what's going on here. We've gotten a ton of positive feedback. We're a year 0 organization, as we've said since day one. There's definitely been hiccups along the way, but we're excited and definitely thrilled to have a university like Boise State on board and competing with us as well.
Jacob Van Ryn, NECC commissioner, just added esports, as he said. And Van Ryn, I just want to thank you because, it's really cool. I think I saw 3rd conference nationally to embrace esports, and it's really cool that you guys are hopping on board. And honestly, I know we're hoping Boise State here wins the title and the championship, and I know I'd love for us to defend it in the spring. So it's been awesome for you to join us, and you guys have been doing a great job. I can't wait for the championships, as you said, in 9 different championship games this weekend. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. Truly appreciate it. Boise State, Sunday, 2 o'clock your time, 4 o'clock our time. Have it on our stream, twitch.tv/NEC_esports. So please join us. We're thrilled with what's going on, and definitely thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you. That was the commissioner of the NECC, Jacob Van Ryn, joining us there as Boise State. The blue team, probably the overwhelming favorites here, but we have to see who their opponent is going to be first, as they're going to be taking on the orange team, will be taking on Illinois Wesleyan. Then we'll have our semifinals, as he sort of hinted at Boise State in the championship game. Probably a foregone conclusion. The Broncos blue squad undefeated. We'll see exactly how they got there coming up. Of course, now that we're done with that, we get to the Overwatch portion, and of course, joining us as she has for most of the semester for the NECC action, it is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. And Colby, a little bit different here. This isn't TESPA. This is NECC. We're kicking off on hybrid. We're going to Numbani, which Boise State Orange got to pick. So tell us why you think Boise State Orange picked Numbani here for game number 1 against Illinois Wesleyan.
Numbani is one of their absolute favorite hybrid maps. They don't like Kings Row very much at all. Doc always tells us not to go to Kings Row. Everybody thinks they're the best at Kings Row, that sort of thing. But Numbani, we have some very specific strategies for Numbani that we pull out. Most notably, we're probably going to have probably an Orisa Sigma is what we're going to see. And then a lot of times you'll run an Ana just in that little corridor to have complete control over the high ground. And then you just kind of shoot into them, and they can't push into all of you at once. So it's really, really nice. However, if they do have a dive comp, Boise State will have to get good at peeling across the multiple high grounds. But other than that, it's a hold that is really hard to break.
This will be a best of 5, and like we said, it's not the TESPA standard rule set. Boise State was the higher-seeded team. They banned first map, then Illinois Wesleyan, and then the Broncos pick Numbani, which is where we go first. It's the orange squad versus Illinois Wesleyan. Winner takes on the blue squad in the semifinals in our second game of the night. Do you think we'll see defense Bastion or defense Ash from orange team? Because we've usually in that first point, as you mentioned with the high ground, it's usually like a Bastion holding it or an Ash. Do you think we'll see either one of those, or since neither of them are really meta right now, they'll just stick with the McCree and whatever else they want to play?
Well, I know that Narbles would be a really good Ash player, so I would not be surprised if we saw him pull out the Ash, because it is a hero that he's very comfortable on, and it is a hero that would get a lot of value, particularly on that first point. But if you didn't get the value the first point, if you lose first point, we would probably see a swap to McCree, just because he is superior for most of the rest of the map.
Boise State and Illinois Wesleyan, game 1 of the night here in the NECC playoffs. It's the orange squad here. The winner of this will take on Boise State Blue in the semifinals. The blue squad, with an undefeated record, only dropping 1 map, had a bye right to the semifinals. So we could be guaranteed for a Bronco team in the championship taking place on Sunday, as we will kick things off. And there's Narbles on the McCree, so it looks like they're going to forego any sort of Bastion shenanigans for now. And Illinois Wesleyan, as we've seen a lot the last few weeks, D'Angelo, a team that still refuses to admit that the old meta is no longer perhaps the way to go.
I've said it before, Fish. I will absolutely say it again. Comfort picks kill a team. We've talked about that a number of times. There are just times when you can't force a hero. There are times when you can, but more often than not, at this level of competitive play, you can't. You can't force a hero. You need to counterpick. You need to map pick.
And what do you think of the Echo pick here? I know it's something Goblin on the blue team plays really well. Do you think she's the right sidekick to McCree as we kick things off here and the teams still feel each other out?
I think a lot of different things can be the right sidekick to McCree, just because it depends on play. I do think we're going for a little bit of high ground flank on here, because it's just such an open first point. The Echo has, for the most part, completely free range, and particularly with that Zenyatta Discord, Boise State Orange is just trying to do a lot of damage here, and I think Echo definitely brings a lot of mobility and a lot of that damage that they're looking for to the table, because it is a spam comp, and Echo can do that relatively well.
See a back flank here. Flash Fatal with that Orb of Discord. The first member immediately take it down for the Titans. Codex dropping to about 50%, and two of them just fell off the edge. That make it 3, as they were just probably trying for the reset, and an absolute disaster for Illinois Wesleyan on their first attack.
That is a thing that kills a lot of teams on Numbani, is taking a really, really long time to push. Honestly, good on them for full resetting that fast, because their monkey was down. their chances of winning that fight were very low. They really just needed a full reset there because otherwise that would have taken 30, 45 seconds off of their push, and then they only would have had a couple more left. That is a pitfall that a lot of teams fall into that I'm happy that Wesleyan didn't.
Wesleyan, by the way, full swapping over, basically mirroring Boise State. They do have the Hanzo over the Echo, and just like that, Dash gets the first elimination onto Beanie Bum. You see an Immortality Field was dropped by Pleb, so Boise State's not going to have that defensive option. Quiddibrel going to give up the high ground here, and now Illinois Wesleyan has found a way through. Echo already has the duplicate. Frost takes down Flash Fatal, so a great pick by him. Boise State, though, has to be careful. They've lost Quiddibrel. Now there's still a duplicate for Frost if he wants to use it. He's in on the back line. Nice Immortality Field by Snova. It's going to keep him and Chigs alive. Duplicate onto the Hanzos. Kixie's going to take down one. Beanie Bum does get the Immortality Field, and immediately Kixie takes down the duplicate. Frost going to get no value on that ultimate. We do see an Ant Matrix has gone down by Snova's up on the high ground. As Boise State losing members left and right. Chigs picks up a double kill. Codex gets one as well, and Boise State looks like they have just surrendered the payload after a small hole.
We did not get much value out of that Echo ultimate at all, and that definitely contributed to us losing the cart very quickly.
Yeah, I don't even know if he got an ability off at that point. It was a great job by Kixie with the stun, and now it's double Deadeye time, and I'm ready for both of them to completely whiff D'Angelo, just so you know, and everyone else knows.
I'm ready for them to get kills, just so you can be upset, Fish.
Well, I'm assuming Boise State will wait for the Gravitic Flux. Quiddibrel at 81%. Not going to be too hard for him to charge it. There's nothing too close for Illinois Wesleyan to maybe partner up with Kixie. Maybe you just drop it to be able to zone. There is the Ant Matrix going to come out. Immortality Field used, and Narbles picks up one. He'll take down Snovis' Immortality Field as well. And Boise State's going to start pushing, and it looks like Illinois Wesleyan, as we saw earlier, quick to retreat. They're just going to immediately try and hide. Nice halt there by Icy. Going to put Flash Fatal right in the line of fire, but Illinois Wesleyan just going to wait for their main tank. Another pick, though, by Narbles at the perfect time. And Chigs goes down. Dash barely survives, and Boise State with an excellent first little start there, only using the Ant Matrix.
You can't hide when Icy's on Orisa. He will not let you with that halt. He did an absolutely amazing job there and enabled them to get some extra staggers, and extra staggers translate to extra time.
Gravitic Flux comes out from Quiddibrel. It's a Deadeye from Kixie that's used, so they come slamming down. Dragon Strike and Gravitic Flux by Codex used. Transcendence by Beanie Bum. Narbles committed the Deadeye as well. Neither of them finding any value, so I will remain supreme in that call for now. As we see Supercharger taken out. Narbles, though, who needs Deadeye? Another great pick onto Dad. We do see an Ant Matrix down, so Boise State going to line of sight. Wait that one out. Codex takes down Icy, so it's a 1-for-1. Frost, another duplicate, but he's just going to retreat. The first one with no value. Big reason why Boise State already has to defend against this payload. You see Ant Matrix for Pleb is available. Snowbits with a great little pick onto Beanie Bum. There's a duplicate by Frost, this time onto the Sigma. Immediately taking a 50%. Immortality Field comes out, and Pleb immediately goes down. Gravitic Flux from Frost comes out, but he's not able to get the slam down as the duplicate fades. Boise State loses Quiddibrel. Now they lose Frost, and Narbles just one lone pick, and it's second checkpoint for Illinois Wesleyan.
I think we should swap off the Echo at this point.
Yeah.
One of her big draws is the fact that her ultimate can be any ultimate in the game. And we're not getting a ton of value out of that. Sigma is a superior duplication target to Hanzo, as we saw there. And just tanks in general are a better idea to duplicate. But we're not seeing the value that we need to get out of the Echo, so I don't think we should be on her much longer. We know Frost is comfortable on a variety of other heroes.
Gravitic Flux going to be committed by Codex, who already has it. Nice fortified there by INC to cancel out the slam down. And they will take down the Immortality Field as soon as they do. Quiddibrel gets taken out. A Supercharger by Flash Fatal's been committed. Dash picks up two. Beanie Bum on the Brigette. Now Boise State getting run through. Narbles, the lone bright spot right now, gets one. And Illinois Wesleyan just kind of runs through Boise State. 2 minutes and 41 seconds in the bank, and only 1 or 2 lost team fights overall.
With an Orisa Sigma comp like that, you need to be able to set up, and we didn't necessarily have the time to set up. We kind of got hard rolled first point after one fight, and then we put up a lot of resistance on second point, but then when they finally took the point, we didn't really have a time to set up for a really, really good, solid third point hold. So I don't necessarily think that Boise State Orange is just playing horribly. I think they're kind of just getting rolled at really unfortunate times in the map that are just giving Illinois Wesleyan so much space. However, they do only have 2 minutes and 41 seconds, so, I mean, could be a lot worse.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that Frost is running it back on the Echo. I'm not going to say that Dash got insane value on the Hanzo. He had one Dragon Strike. It kind of whiffed. He did get a couple of headshots going on to third point, but I think you and I both agree that Echo probably not the play. 2 duplicates, 0 ults, cast all the way through. The second Gravitic Flux was interrupted before the channel could finish, so I don't know what they could put in, but I don't think Echo is the right call, as Boise State looks to be running it back with a couple of swaps everywhere else. There we go. Finally, Frost swaps over, and this is what we've seen from Orange, especially in NECC. They try the new meta. As soon as they run into a stumble, they immediately go back to their own comfort picks.
And I mean, comfort picks can kill a team, but so can sitting on Echo when you're not getting any ultimate value.
Yeah.
So good on them for switching. We'll see if it benefits them more.
Only change for Illinois Wesleyan, Dash on the Torbjorn. Everyone else sticking with the same thing, and they really, as a team, kind of all came together. No one member dominated, but it was a great team effort to cap 3 points, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Boise State going to get right up in on the high ground. Quintuple and Icy up there. Orbit Discord has them low. A 3-man stun comes out, and Pleb is the first one taken down. There's an immortality field that will comes down. Quintuple out of the mech, and the rest of Boise State will fall, and I would be curious to see if, much like Illinois Wesleyan, we see a quick swap over to what is working right now as opposed to this old meta comp that Boise State tried here on the first attack.
We probably should swap off at this point. Normally, Dive is a really, really good Numbani first point attack strat, except not if they're all sitting together. Like, if they're all sitting together, you really don't want to send both of your tanks into a full team of 6, including a Sigma, Orisa, and a McCree with a Zenyatta Discord. It's really just not going to work for you, so I think it probably would be in Orange's best interest to either swap or farm EMP.
Well, they tried to get up there. They actually baited Flash Fatal off the high ground. I don't know if Icy missed the jump intentionally or not, but it works out. Unfortunately, he still gets to take it down. Quidrible now has to retreat. The rest of Illinois Wesleyan's coming down. Supercharger committed by Flash Fatal. You've got an Amp Matrix used as well by Snowbiz. Boise State trying to line of sight it underneath as it has been dropped below them. Codex picks up 2 more, and Boise State once again has to retreat. I don't know if they're waiting for Frost EMP, because right now they've dive up or attempted dive up, as you mentioned, D'Angelo, just not working.
Yes, absolutely. The only reason they're still on this comp is probably for the Sombra EMP, because the Sombra EMP will break that bunker up really nicely as long as they can get everybody there at the same time. I am personally affronted that Orisa did not die, by the way. She was the first to drop, and she dropped into a good several members of Boise State Orange there.
Yeah, I don't know if that, like I said, I don't know if that was a failed jump or an intentional one. And once again, they'll get Flash Fatal off the high ground early. Immortality Field comes down. Gravitic Flux used by Codex. No kills to show for right now. There's a 4-man EMP by Beanie Bum. Coalescence from Pleb comes out. And finally, Boise State takes down Chigs. Icy gets 1. There's another one onto Flash Fatal. Deadeye, though, gets 3 from Kixie. There he adds a 4th one as well. Boise State will get him, but they're going to have to retreat, and now they're starting to run out of time. That EMP was probably not worth the minute and a half they waited for it.
It wasn't worth the minute and a half they waited for it because of the huge Deadeye that I'm very conflicted about, by the way, because I am so happy that you have to eat your words, even to a small extent, as the Deadeye basically carried that fight for them there. But also, it did end up with Orange losing the fight, so...
That was a great little flank by Kixie over there in that back little room where you can see the Torbjorn turret. Boise State, once again, really hasn't swapped. The only thing we've seen is Narbles is now on the Hanzo. They have a sound barrier as well as a Primal Rage Diva Bomb. Narbles gets the first one onto Kixie. Nice little hack onto Flash Fatal as well. Primal Rage popped just to knock them all off the high ground. Immortality Field committed, immediately taken down. There is an Ant Matrix from Snowbiz that has been used with a sound barrier. Will cancel out most of that damage. They're going to run down Snowbiz as Chigs will be taken out. Snowbiz trying to hop away as much as he can, as Boise State will still try and eliminate him. A nice hack onto Codex. They're going to probably prevent him from getting a Riddick Flux as he's taken down. And finally, Boise State able to capture the payload with just 25 seconds left.
And we managed to keep Quidrible's bomb. And knowing his bomb history, that we could be looking at a nice little second point roll here. Illinois Wesleyan is set up for another fight here, but as we saw on their own attack, this is not a hard point to snowball and roll. So if we can get bomb value here, there's a potential that we can just roll right on to third point.
Yeah, they'll have the EMP soonish. It's at 71%. They also have the Dragon Strike and the Coalescence. They do have to be careful. It's a Gravitic Flux up for Codex and then a Supercharger for Flash Fatal. There's the Dragon Strike that's going to rip through. Chigs taken to half health, but no follow-up from Boise State. Now they're going to dive right in. Icy on the backline immediately gets eliminated. Quidrible I thought he maybe bombed reset. No, he held on to a good play there. Supercharger did get baited out. He's just going to go for the reset. And Boise State really didn't get much there, but wasting a Dragon Strike.
That's how you can tell that they are setting up for a huge bomb play there. The fact that Quidgible didn't use it to mech reset. I mean, the fight was also lost, and he's just a good player. But also, I do believe they are planning some tricky stuff with a bomb because it would be very easy for them to combo an EMP there, especially when everybody in Illinois Wesleyan is in one spot.
Yeah, I think they were also maybe trying to bait out more ultimates on the Superchargers. The Gravitic Flux is still up. So is the rally from Chigs. As Boise State's going to jump in. EMP is available, but Frost is incredibly low. Coalescence has to be used by Pleb to try and sustain. A Deadeye from Kixie finds nothing. There's the rally. Diva Bomb goes out, picks up 2. As Codex was in the middle of casting the Gravitic Flux. Boise State doesn't even need the EMP. Frost might be able to run it down now, or he's just going to hold on to it. It's a nice hack onto Chigs, and Ant Matrix has gone down from Snowbiz. And Boise State, unfortunately, cannot make it around this final corner as the 2 tanks for Illinois Wesleyan have respawned. There's just a minute left. Narwhal's going to get a pick onto Dash. Beanie Mo will get on onto Chigs. Immortality Field comes down, immediately eliminated, and so will Snowbiz and Flash Fatal. As Boise State's and Illinois Wesleyan running for the hills. They've got second point. The time bank's already behind what Illinois Wesleyan had, so they've got to go quickly.
Got to go quickly, and quickly they will do. They have EMP coupled with Dragon Strike. We have a good amount of ultimates here, and we only need to round one final quarter around this thing here. And Illinois Wesleyan doesn't have a ton of ultimates to try to stop this roll coming in. All we'll have to deal with is Supercharger.
There's a 6-man EMP. We're still waiting for the follow-up. Looks like the Dragon Strike came through, didn't find anything. Boise State's picked up 3 so far. With respawn advantage, though, they've got to get full wipes as Kixie is going to be able to take down Quidgible, who's knocked out of the mech. Frost will get him right back, though, but the respawns are starting to come through here for Illinois Wesleyan. And Boise State not committing 3 members to the payload means it's not going to push at max speed. Dash taken down off screen. There's a Supercharger coming in from Flash Fatal as Icy's going to dive right into the fight. Immortality Field, Coalescence both being used. Coalescence actually snipes down the Immortality Field, follows up with Snowbiz. Flash Fatal can't hold on as well. The rest of the members of Illinois Wesleyan dropping low, but this stall could be huge. They've currently burnt about 15 seconds off the clock. Boise State incredibly close. Dash on the Tracer will get finally taken down. Can they body block Flash Fatal? Yes, but you can see the time difference right there. It's only a minute 18 left for Boise State.
A minute 18 is more than enough for Boise State Orange to do successful things on this payload. Not necessarily with their performance that we just witnessed on their attack on Numbani, but I do believe they are capable of a better first point take than that, and I do believe a minute and 18 seconds gives them a good chance. It gives them a good solid 2 pushes, and if they play their cards right, they can come into the second push with ultimates. So they do still have a chance here. They are still in it, and I do think after getting a little rolled on their first defense, I think they are more than prepared to handle that 2 minutes and 41 seconds that Illinois Wesleyan has.
Yeah, the biggest concern would be Boise State's attacking because a minute 18, if they're going to run that comp back, there is a ton of pressure on Frost to get this EMP quickly.
Oh, absolutely. And there's already a ton of pressure on Frost to get the EMP off quickly. In general, I mean, it was their win condition for last fight. It was their win condition for third point. But knowing that you have to charge it that quickly adds a whole new level of stress that I do believe Frost is up for, but that I do believe would probably be unnecessary with a comp maybe better suited for attacking first point into Orisa Sigma.
Yeah, well, the biggest reason why Boise State has such a small time bank is, as you mentioned, D'Angelo, first point was a mini disaster for Boise State, and it's because they wasted about a minute and a half just saying, all right, we're going to keep throwing ourselves at Illinois Wesleyan and Frost. You have to get your EMP as soon as possible, because as soon as he dropped it, they won the fight. But they already have a minute left. They're going to have maybe 2 fights if they die quickly here. They're going to be able to bait down Flash Fatal. Immortality Field keeps everybody alive, but they're able to take down Chigs, who did not drop down to the Immortality Field. Snowbiz goes down as well. They will lose the Diva Mech, but that's the only thing Illinois Wesleyan has found, as Narwhal takes down Flash Fatals. Codex will fall as well. Dash just barely holding on. They've got Kixie in on the back line. He's nowhere close to a Deadeye to flip this one. And Boise State kind of baits Illinois Wesleyan into the game we saw all along, and the Titans fall for it, and Boise State's got the payload.
We saw them not eliminate the Orisa when she dropped first several times. They managed to get a pick on the Zenyatta after the Orisa dropped, though, and then they managed to clean up the rest of the fight, which is very good and shows that they have learned from their first little mini disaster on first point attack.
Yes, the Zenyatta didn't get down into the immortality field. They just got taken out. Illinois Wesleyan, they'll say, well, if Boise State can do it, let's both go back to the old meadow. They'll bring out their own Sombra comp. They do have the Reaper, though, so the EMP Blossom could be something Boise State has to watch out for. We're in overtime, though, so one lost fight, and Boise State is done here. Coalescence comes out from Pleb. They have dash low. Nice hack onto Codex there. He's going to be dropped low and just barely knocked out of the mech. See if we can find a punish for Boise State. Looks like he is able to retreat, and he will just maybe self-suicide. Nice pick by Narbles, though, as Boise State's still round in the corner. Kixie is very low as well. Flash Fatal, the next one to get hacked. A great job there. Dragon Strike comes through. Weakens them down just a little bit as Kixie will fall, and Boise State getting incredibly close here to maybe at least two capping in overtime, as now they're going to chase down Snobus. He falls apart, and Illinois Wesleyan probably should have stuck with the comp that got them here.
And we have a nice clean setup to clean wipe third point in the EMP bomb.
Boise State Orange, unfortunately, just has to be careful. Their NECC season partly came to an end because of a little bit of a Cloud9 on assault where they forgot to stand on the point in overtime. So they've got to make sure that they keep that in the back of their mind, that they cannot over pursue here. Frost going to land that 4-man EMP, going to be able to get away. Flash Fatal dropping low. Is he going to go down? EMP has faded. Boise State's already lost 2 members. Primal Rage has come out. There's a Sound Barrier Coalescence from Snobus and Chigs, and Boise State unfortunately is down to just 3 members. Icy Primal Rage has faded. Chigs takes down Narbles with the Coalescence. There's that Death Blossom, and it looks like Illinois Wesleyan's going to find a way to hold. There was just no follow-up for the EMP, but Boise State still with a respectable 2 points and 30 meters, going to make Illinois Wesleyan work for it here. As we see some final after the round elimination. So not a bad job by Boise State with that only minute 18 seconds on the clock, but Illinois Wesleyan with double that time is going to have a decent shot at matching it, as the Titans really ran through Boise State and ran into very, very little resistance after the first fight that we took. So I'll be curious to see what Boise State wants to do here, what Illinois Wesleyan wants to do here, D'Angelo, because Boise State right now has to find a way to slow down what Illinois Wesleyan did when they attacked in regulation.
Well, once they cap first point, we really only need to win one fight between second and third point, because that's such like a long stretch and the respawns are a little bit awkward there. We only need to win one perfect fight if they cap first point. And I think they might, just judging by what we saw before, as they were able to just kind of rip through Boise State Orange's defenses. But we've seen Boise State Orange show most of the life that they've shown has been on that second point there, and they've gotten a good amount of really good fights on that second point. And so I think on defense, it's not necessarily about stopping them first point. I think it's about stopping them on the long stretch to second and preventing them from getting third.
It does look like Boise State has opted to drop the Hanzo. They brought the Reaper out, so probably maybe eyeing for that EMP Blossom, maybe even EMP Blossom Bomb, and winning that one fight, as you mentioned, D'Angelo. Illinois Wesleyan, they're sticking with what got them here. The Orisa Sig plus the Hanzo McCree, as well as the Brig, is now Boise State's going to kick things off here. They try and meet Illinois Wesleyan. They're going to lose Beanie Bump, but they'll trade it off for Codex, so not a bad job here. Immortality Field dropped by Snobus. Boise State unfortunately loses 2 more members. They will be able to take down just the Immortality Field, and now they're able to pick up 2 more. Just as I say it, Boise State, Narbles and Quidgible able to rally. Unfortunately, they lose the mech, and there's Chigs, who's working on his own rally. Going to pick up a double kill, and now it comes down to Boise State, as you mentioned, D'Angelo, winning one fight between here and third point. It was never about the first point hold, really. I mean, we did an okay job there. I mean, we're running dive into Orisa Sigma McCree Brig. So, I mean, a good effort was made. Now we want to kind of bleed them for time. But really what it's going to come down to is winning a clean fight on second point to prevent them from getting third. Boise State maybe caught Illinois Wesleyan off guard as the Broncos re-engage just right before the payload caps and actually pick up a 5 kill. So Boise State, we've seen them do it time and time again, where especially the orange team, they say, oh, the other team's like, oh, they're just going to wait. They're going to wait for us to come around the corner. They jump right in, and I thought it was just Icy and Quidgible. The whole team came up, and now Illinois Wesleyan has to win this next fight or it's game over.
I guess that's the benefit of dying really quickly and at the same time, is you get a full recontest because you're dive. And that full recontest was more than enough for Boise State Orange, doing an absolutely phenomenal job there, and a job that I don't think anybody expected.
Supercharger comes down from Flash Fatal. They've got the Death Blossom and the Diva Bomb, but Icy just gets eliminated there. Curious to see what Boise State wants to do. Quidruple's going to use the bomb. He's going to be able to just get the Supercharger as a Deadeye from Kicks is able to pick up Narbles. Maybe would have wanted to hold on to that for the next fight. It looks like the Broncos here are probably going to have to concede the payload. Beanie Bum does take down Kixie. A rally comes out from Chig. They have the ultimate as well from Codex if he wants to drop it, but it looks like Boise State has lost enough members that Illinois Wesleyan can hold on, and they'll now be able to cap the payload, and Boise State still just has to win that one fight now with only 13 seconds left on the clock.
Just one fight, and Wesleyan doesn't have the McCree ultimate for that one fight. We haven't necessarily been seeing a lot of huge ultimates out of Illinois Wesleyan, but one of the huge ultimates that we have seen was the Deadeye, and they don't have that. And Boise State Orange just needs to win one fight, and with 3, almost 4 big ultimates on the clock, it is perfectly doable.
Yeah, it's going to be, there's a Gravitic Flux though, so Illinois Wesleyan wants to strike first. It's only going to land on the Quidruple, but a nice hack by Frost is going to stop the slam down. Unfortunately, they will lose Narbles, so they're probably going to have to wait on that EMP. Dragon Strike is going to come out from Dash, and it's just going to whiff completely. Boise State opting for the full reset. They can give up this point and not be too concerned. They only have to win one fight before Illinois Wesleyan gets to that parking spot, and I think that's exactly what the Broncos want to do here. They're setting up for the full press Q combo.
We're setting up for probably 5 Qs at once, maybe 6 if Quidruple can charge that bomb really fast. And 6 ults is 6 ults, regardless of who's pressing Q.
Well, there's a 3-man hack. There's the Death Blossom that picks up 2. There's the Coalescence as well, and that's all they needed. Snowbiz can't stay on the point. Boise State, as you mentioned, D'Angelo, they just got to win one fight, and that's exactly what they did. But a huge recontest as well. Maybe caught Illinois Wesleyan off guard. They're just like, hey, we're going to cap the payload. Boise State's going to wait for us. Everyone's, we're all agreement here. Boise State's like, nah, we're going to absolutely wipe you. And that was a really good play. So Boise State up 1 here in the quarterfinals over Illinois Wesleyan as we're going to head on to our next map.
Illinois Wesleyan was absolutely not ready for that recontest. I am the biggest fan of them, and I wasn't ready for it.
Well, 2020 has been a tough year, especially if you're an Illinois Wesleyan fan and you just saw map number 1. But Respawn wants to make it better. They partnered with NECC and eFuse to give away 250 gaming chairs to 18 different collegiate and high school programs. Programs can submit a video showing how the Respawn gaming chairs can transform their program. If you want more information, go check them out on Twitter at eFuseOfficial to get more information. As we head on to map number 2, will be the choice of Illinois Wesleyan here. So curious to see what we're going, because this isn't TESPA rule sets. Obviously, you would have garnered that by the fact we didn't start on control. Not sure where we go next in terms of map style, and I'll be really curious to see if that dictates what Illinois Wesleyan wants to pick.
Boise State Orange definitely has fallen prey a lot of different times to running comps that are not necessarily the best suited for a map, or running comps that they know that they're not going to get value on a map. So I do actually think that this map choice is a big deal. However, I do think that Boise State Orange can still pull it out and win this because, I am the biggest fan of these boys, and they have already surprised me once and far exceeded my expectations. And so I believe they came here tonight to play this game with no other intention than to win.
Yeah, it looked all but lost when we saw the time bank comparison. It was 241 to 118. We're like, this is going to be
an okay job
pretty
there.
iffy.
We're running dive.
And
Arissa
Boise
Sigma.
State, really, this recontest here by Icy, I was like, okay, Icy and Quidruple have gone in. They're just going to burn time off the clock. And then the rest of the team's like, oh, we might as well help them. They just got 2 picks. I don't think Illinois Wesleyan expected that at all. Even with Icy going down, this wasted a good minute off the clock.
Absolutely. Icy just went God mode, and everybody else backed him up, and it was fantastic. And Boise State Orange, I believe that play showcases that they really have no other intention than to win this. They want this very bad, and they're playing very well. So I do believe that their hard work will be rewarded.
Yeah, winner of this game will play Boise State Blue in our second game of the night in the semifinal. So we could have an all-Bronco semifinal, which would guarantee a spot in the championship coming up this weekend, which I'm sure Boise State would love to see. As we're going to go on to our second map here. Looks like we got Control, then we're going to go Escort, Assault, Control. So the only thing that's really different from TESPA is Hybrid and the first Control map have flipped. So everything else will be standard after game number 2.
Which is good because, to be honest, the little Numbani hybrid not being control kind of threw me off just a little bit when I was looking at the rules initially.
Yeah, we're like, first map's Numbani. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I know I'm not the smartest Overwatch person, but I'm 99% sure that's not a control map. And like, oh, it's different rules. I'm like, that makes absolutely perfect sense. So yeah, just a little bit of a swap. Hey, they're the NECC. We talked to the commissioner. He can do whatever he wants. So he's opted to say, you know what? We want to play hybrid first, then we'll go to control, then escort, assault, and control not played if needed. It's a best of 5 here, and Boise State's up 1. And it looks like for now, Boise State's sticking with the comp that won them on Numbani. And Illinois Wesleyan, now we've got the echo for them. I want to see if Dash gets any value from that duplicate.
We won on Numbani running into a comp that countered our own because we very smartly used the map to our advantage. I don't know that we're setting up for this first fight to smartly use the map to our advantage, Fish.
Yeah, this team comp for Boise State really feels like the only way they've won against Illinois Wesleyan is when Frost gets an EMP for the most part. And so we might see a couple of lost fights as we do get Narbles with the first elimination. Quidgeable taken out of the mech, and then Narbles will get taken down. Huge immortality field by Snowbiz to keep the members alive there and allow for a reset. Icy's got to hide behind the platform. They're going to sneak up behind Flash Fatal, who has been hacked, but Baby Diva and Frost will both be taken down. Pixie's already got the Deadeye. So Icy's going to jump on top. He's just trying to slow down how fast Illinois Wesleyan can cap, as now him and Beanie Bum will go down. And Boise State, once again, running into a buzzsaw when they don't have that EMP, and Narbles at least has swapped over to the McCree.
Boise State Orange has been doing a lot of individually popping off, even though their comp is even though their comp is inferior and gets hard countered by Illinois Wesleyan's comp, which good on Illinois Wesleyan for sticking with the comp that completely hard counters your enemy. But Boise State has still been managing to pop off and win fights, so I just feel like there's a much easier route for them to take than running dive.
Well, they'll trade 1-for-1 here, and then they're able to take down a couple of bongos and things, as right now Quidgeable's lost the mech. There's an elimination onto Dash. Nice little hack onto Snowbiz as he had dropped the Amp Matrix to start that fight, as well as the Deadeye from Kixie. See, the rally's available for Chiggs. Looks like he might be holding on to it for Illinois Wesleyan. Interesting decision there, as Boise State has pushed the Titans off of the point, but no one has really gone down since Dash, and he has respawned. There's a Griveted Flux committed by Codex. No hack. The hack actually goes on to Kixie, which is interesting, as Boise State will lose Quidgeable. Sound Barrier comes out from Beanie Bum, lands onto a couple members, but their shields have been eaten through already. Immortality field taken down, but now Codex going to go bang, bang, bang with the rocks. He's going to pick up 3, 1 with the fists, and Boise State gets fully wiped.
Boise State gave them 30% there, just kind of tickling and not winning the fight and not hard engaging on the 3 members that were there. And that is definitely going to cost them probably this map. If they do that again, it will cost them Busan.
Well, they've got the duplicate. They're going in to duplicate another Amp Matrix in a rally. They just have the EMP from Frost. They're incredibly close to a Deadeye. There's a 5-man EMP. Where's the follow-up for Boise State? As no one goes down, they all immediately line of sight the Deadeye. He'll find 1 hit marker. Codex will eventually fall. A nice hack onto Dash, and he will be taken out before he can duplicate. So Boise State still finds 2, but they've got to go quickly, as Illinois Wesleyan is now going to get to 99% by the time this fight ends. And Boise State's in overtime right as they flip the point.
Perfect play here is what Boise State Orange has to go for. And now that we have the point, we don't necessarily have to run into the Orisa Sigma McCree Brig. We don't necessarily have to run into them in spots where we don't want to. So we kind of, this is much better now that Boise State has the point. We can afford to take fights that we want to rather than being forced to go to them on the point.
Well, there's a nice coalescence. It picks up 1. It also takes down the immortality field as 3 more members of Illinois Wesleyan will go down. And talk about playing perfect. There's a team kill for Boise State and no members lost, but they've got to do that probably 3 more times.
We saw some, a little bit less than perfect Brig play there. She got an amazing stun on the Moira with a coalescence, which was good, but at the cost of being in the middle of the enemy team, which is very scary for a solo Brig.
You're critical of Narbles' duplicate use. Dash has had it his whole map and has never used it. Prime Range from Icy just barely keeps him alive. There's a 2-man Deadeye from Kixie, and Boise State now, they're in full panic mode. They're going to lose Quidgeable as well. They have not found a single elimination. Narbles has the Deadeye, but he's not in a spot to use it. He'll get taken down by Kixie as well. There's the duplicate onto the Sombra of all things, but I don't think it's really going to matter as the point's going to flip and Boise State's going to have to rush for a recontest. The body block's coming out from Illinois Wesleyan. Nobody's going to get there. Nice gravitic flux from Codex, and Boise State's going to drop first map here on control.
Perfect play is a bit much to expect, even from Boise State teams. I mean, it's always a good day to be a Boise State fan, but it's especially a nice day to be a Boise State fan when there's a shot at the semifinals being Boise State versus Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, if Boise State Orange ends up playing this game out, we are guaranteed that the Broncos will be in the finals of the NEC. I mean, even if Illinois Wesleyan wins, Boise State Blue has absolutely run through the champions group.
Oh, yeah.
They have dropped only one map to Midland, who would probably be their opponent. They are the second-place team. So Boise State Blue will be the favorite no matter who wins this. But if you're guaranteed a spot in the final, if you're a Boise State fan, that's a great thing to have. But right now, Boise State's got to figure out, what exactly are we doing into Illinois Wesleyan, and can we win a fight that doesn't involve Frost EMP when the point's already at 99%?
Or individual players just popping off and going God mode. We've been relying on, like, these God tier plays from people, and that's not necessarily how you win games. That's not the most strategically sound solution, is just praying somebody hops off.
So Boise State's eventually going to dive right on top of Illinois Wesleyan, but a nice immortality field shuts that one down. The Broncos have now lost 2 plus a mech. Make it 3 as Baby Diva's taking down Icy on the Reinhardt, trying to swing away, but he's just going to, I thought he would just walk off the edge of the reset. He actually is able to pin Kixie, but it does not matter. Same result. Boise State resets, and it's point Illinois Wesleyan's favor.
Kixie was the price for that point, but overall a relatively inconsequential pin. Boise State Orange is really having a tough time with that immortality field because it's giving Illinois Wesleyan the extra seconds that they need to kill somebody on the Boise State side who has already hard engaged.
Yeah, just that health damage that you have to do to the immortality field is turning all the fights. As Codex is hacked, he will be taking low. Coalescence Life Club is being used, so used to just snipe out the immortality field this time. An Ant Matrix comes down from Snowbiz, but Boise State's the one who's going to just sacrifice Narbles in exchange for 5 kills. Can they make it 6? Yes. It will be a team kill Boise State, and they should be able to flip the point.
We saw Snowbiz with the immortality field directly into the Coalescence, and then there it was. Boise State was able to cleanly win that fight. I mean, Narbles was the price, but he's going to come back before their next little contest here. And so Boise State will have a full team to go into Illinois Wesleyan with.
Supercharger comes down from Flash Fatal. Boise State's got the Shatter and a nice Gravitic Flux comboed in with the Deadeye. It'll take down Icy, and then he's able to follow it up. He also got the mech there from Quidgeable, but Kixie popping off. Talk about individual play. He'll pick up 5. And that's a team kill Illinois Wesleyan, and they say, that was a cute job, but it's our point again.
That was an astounding ult combo. And to be perfectly honest, without Beat Online, there really wasn't anything that Boise State Orange could do there. So I don't necessarily have too many negative things for them to say in that fight.
I didn't quite see what stunned him, but Frost got stopped mid-EMP, so that got all wasted. A 3-man Shatter does come down, and they'll trade Icy for Chigs, but right now Boise State's got to battle through that immortality field. Diva Bomb is going to be used as they've lost Narbles as well. Quidgeable nearly dies before remeching. He actually gets immediately taken right back out of the mech. Going to see Dash pick up one more, and when you wait for EMP, and it's a great stun, I would have to think by Chigs who stopped it. There's a 2-man Deadeye. Boise State, you're not going to find anything when you just lose your EMP to nothing.
We do have Sound Barrier now, so there is the potential to... We will probably have to use it defensively against the Sigma ultimate, and they're probably going to try to combo that with Supercharger as Boise State engages here next time, or Ant Matrix like that.
It's overtime, so Boise State can once again has got to play perfect. There's the Sound Barrier, but it's not enough. Icy immediately taken down. Supercharger Ant Matrix already down. Boise State's still trying to hunt down the Supercharger. And in the process, they get a Supercharger for 6 and game. It's tied at 1 side here in the quarterfinals. They got the Supercharger, though. That's cool.
That was not Boise State Orange's map at all. And I do believe that part of that, I think part of it was just comp. I do not think that we are countering the Baptiste as well as we need to. I think that potentially our own Baptiste would be a lot of help, because if you can buy those extra seconds for yourself, too, that would just... that would be huge.
Yeah, it's a great time to remind everyone, Boise State Esports, always looking for talented players, production, and broadcasters. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, could earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. I mean, I think you said it right when we were talking from what the original comp on Numbani was for Illinois Wesleyan, D'Angelo, is comfort picks will kill a team. And unfortunately for Boise State, Orange team mainly has had this fear of when the meta goes wrong, when Arissa Sig doesn't win one fight, they panic, they full swap back to their Winston Diva, they throw in a Sombra, and Illinois Wesleyan, as you said, basically is running the counter, and Boise State's like, well, we'll just outplay them, and that did not work at all on Control.
To be fair to Boise State Orange, on these maps where there's not necessarily an advantage to the defending team, like at all on these control points, to be fair, it is much harder to outplay somebody on dive. You kind of just have to turn it into a brawl, which we weren't necessarily doing successfully either, because we even attempted to run a Reinhardt into them, which would normally be superior in brawl, which would normally, if you can get the Reinhardt on top of the Orisa and the Sigma, there you go. I mean, he's very dangerous up close. But we didn't even get the value out of that.
Yeah, and I would love to have seen what exactly went wrong. All I saw was the EMP light up, and then nobody got hacked. It was clearly a great stun by somebody from Illinois Wesleyan onto Frost, because maybe if that EMP lands, they win the fight. They're the ones in control. Speaking of maybe a fight against an EMP, it fits right into Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch, which is never take a fair fight. And that means take a fight in unexpected places when they're unprepared and when you can have the ability advantage. A great way of doing that is when they can't use their abilities, when you hit them with an EMP, which is what Boise State's win condition has been. That was what it was on Numbani. That's what they wanted to try there, but it was a great stun onto Frost before the animation finished. So I'd be really curious. I mean, Boise State, on the bright side, gets to pick on Escort.
Yes.
But I don't know if they want to run the Sombra back. And I was actually going to bring this up. Do you think Boise State threw? Because they love this map. You talk about Orange. They love this Escort map.
They absolutely do love this Escort
Throwing
map.
to pick map? Question mark?
I totally think... I think this is the Orange comeback. I think we're going to see some impressive stuff if it does go to Havana, if we do play that next. I do think we will see some impressive stuff, and to be honest, it will require some impressive play and some mistakes on the side of Orange for them to cap first point from Boise State Orange on Havana, because it is a map that they practice so much. They love the close hold so dearly. It is so dear to all of their hearts, and they've gotten very good at it as a result. So I do think that this map, I mean, I'm calling it very early, but I do think that this map should go to Boise State Orange if we play anything like we've played in the past.
Yeah, Boise State Orange. I mean, you saw the smile light up on D'Angelo's face as soon as Havana flashed on the screen. I mean,
yes,
she's absolutely right. They love this map. They are really the beneficiaries here of the NEC style, which is not Tespa. We went to hybrid first, with Boise State Orange picked as the higher seeded team. Then Control, with Boise State losing on Control. They got map pick here on Escort, and they're going to pick Havana. Illinois Wesleyan's going to come out on the right side here. They have a Bastion. That poor man is not going to get anywhere near the payload. The immortality field has been committed. There's still no eliminations as Frost is actually the one taken down. He'll lose the battle to Tracer. Now it's a double kill picked up for Illinois Wesleyan. They get 3 for Kixie, and Boise State's close hold immediately falls apart. And Illinois Wesleyan, if they can stop the close hold on Havana, this series is going to be very tough for Boise State.
That's true. That is Boise State Orange's element there. That first hold on Havana, they're going to have to pull out some stuff. They're going to have to reach deep inside themselves and pull out some stuff that we haven't necessarily seen before, because we haven't seen this map go past first point against Orange.
Yeah, Orange historically has just caught teams off guard. They have started floundering, and right now this is the furthest the payload has maybe gotten all semester against Orange on Havana. They will swap over to their own Arista Sig, going to copy Illinois Wesleyan. They have the McCree and the Hanzo, though. Immortality field from Snobus comes down, is taken out immediately by Frost. So Boise State can punish here for the next 15 seconds. Amp Matrix is alive, though, for Snobus if he wants to use it. Kixie dropping low. He's got the Orbit Discord. Narble's going to shut down Dash on the Tracer, but Kixie gets one back. Flash Fatal finds another one, and once again, things go right for Boise State. Pleb's Immortality Field finds nothing. A Tank Fork gets one more, and it's just Narbles. Can he find anything? No! Blast to the face, and already it's 5 minutes on the clock, and Illinois Wesleyan's heading on to point number 2.
Bastion's heading into a scary place on that second little point there because there's a lot of high ground and a lot of different angles that he can't shoot at, but that Boise State Orange can come at him on. So, I mean, this is the furthest we've seen them get, capping first point, which in and of itself is a testament to the skill of Orange team. But I do think that Boise State Orange, 100%, if we play our cards right, we can knock this Bastion off the cart right now and force them to change comps.
Full spot from Dash is going to be able to take down the Immortality field. There's a Gravitic Flux from Codex that's going to be committed, as well as a Supercharger from Flash Fatal, and Boise State's going to lose 2, but they'll trade 2 right back, so Boise State still here in a 4v4. Frost, though, is incredibly low with the Orb of Discord. Pleb thought he was able to heal him up, but a great snipe by Flash Fatal was able to take him down. Respawn's coming out across the board, but the cart, by the way, still just casually pushing. Boise State didn't even slow it down once. They are able to find Chigs, but that Bastion's just hanging on. He isn't really contesting anything.
There it is.
Finally, Kixie goes down. Now it's Flash Fatal, who's chilling on the cart. Nice little halt there to try and reset Boise State. Flash Fatal rides that all the way to the second checkpoint in one fight. Dash comes flying in, but immediately taken out. Now Illinois Wesleyan's going to have to reset.
You can take it as far as you want without capping second point. Boise State, we knew that we had time. We didn't need to hard commit on a fight we didn't like. We were able to just kind of kill everyone except for the Bastion and the Orisa and then confirm the kill on the Bastion. And now it's going to be really hard for Illinois Wesleyan to get back on this point, period, not just with a Bastion, which they smartly swapped.
Well, Dash goes down first. Great job by Narbles extracting some revenge. There's a double Immortality field from both sides going to come out there. Transcendence has been used by Chigs. Boise State will trade 1 for 1 on the tank side. Squidgeable is taken down. Had the Gravitic Flux. Boise State would have loved that ultimate here in the fight, but they'll just have to reset and they'll wait for Illinois Wesleyan. Looks like to do the same.
I'm not sure that the off angle Squidgeable is getting. Normally he gets a ton of value, but I'm not sure that he is getting the value out of those that he needs to get. Most of the time, he's getting hard engaged on and killed.
Picked by Frost onto Chig, so Illinois Wesleyan wants to retreat once again, and Boise State will gladly let them. And we've seen teams cost themselves here on Havana. They get a really great push, and you said it, you can push as far as you want. Getting back to the payload through all this high ground is really, really hard.
Absolutely. This and Gibraltar, they both have this point where if this Gibraltar and Junkertown, they all three have this point where if the door closes, that point is as good as the defending teams because they only have 4 spots where they can attack from.
Well, this spot has worked out well as Illinois Wesleyan takes down 3. Great little flank there. They're going to be able to hop right on top of the payload. Dash can jump onto Quidgeable. He has the Gravitic Flux. Can't use it as he's taken down. And Illinois Wesleyan, they lost about 2 minutes, but still should be able to ride this payload potentially to the second point. We'll see if Boise State has 1 quick recontest left in him.
If Beanie Bum can get to the point with Tranquility, we did reset enough to get a staggered recontest, but I actually don't think that's the play. I think we just let them have this and then stay back because third point Havana is notoriously hard to cap, and especially with Boise State at such a huge ultimate advantage for now, they're looking pretty good to knock Wesleyan off the payload again.
Their Superchargers come down. A Gravitic Flux is committed, but Narbles maybe dead-eyed a little too soon as he never saw anyone. Boise State still picks up 3, though, in the process. So not going to be considered a waste, as now Kixie's got to retreat. And Boise State sends them back to the spawn, but they used everything in that fight. They only have 2 support salts for the next fight.
Which is really not good. And the amplification matrix is enough to win 1 fight, especially if you're playing long sight lines like this. But since both teams are so close, wasn't worth using all those ultimates in that fight.
Well, there's the Gravitic Deadeye combo from Illinois Wesleyan. It finds nothing either, and Boise State answers back with 1 onto Flash Fatal and 1 onto Dash. They did use both the Transcendence and the Ant Matrix, so now every team is out of ultimates. We do see Illinois Wesleyan is close to their own combo of Transcendence and Ant Matrix. We'll see what they want to do, but Boise State has the Dragon Strike. Frost did a great job clicking on some heads there, got an elimination as well. So he'll have the lone ultimate for this next fight here, and he's going to drop it right away. Codex got stunned. Looks like he is going to be able to live through it, though. They have an Ant Matrix now available for Snowbus if he wants to commit it. Boise State still holding this sight line. Pleb dropping dangerously low, is able to survive. Boise State right now not giving an inch. Great halt there by Icy to reset them on the payload. Codex takes 1 in the head, cannot find another one, though, so he will just barely stay alive. Immortality from Pleb has been taken down right away, and Ant Matrix comes down from Snowbus, and a pick on to Icy. Means Boise State's probably got to reset. The Transcendence is available from Chigs. They can't bait it out, though. They'll take him down, but it's a reset for Boise State.
In case you were curious, that was 797 HP that Quidgible just had there from the Sigma suck that was immediately melted by that amplification matrix. Just in case you were wondering just how fast amplification matrix can melt somebody.
Good news for Boise State. They've got their own amp matrix. They've got a gravitic flux as well, but they're going into a transcendent, so if Chase can stay alive, he can help stabilize Illinois Wesleyan, and you can see Boise State wants that pick first here as we wrap up the first attack on Havana, game number 3 of the NECC quarterfinals. Boise State, there's the gravitic flux going to be committed. They only find it on the flash fatal with a nice fortify, going to cancel out all of that damage. Deadeye comboed with it. There's the transcendence and an immortality here from Snowbiz, and Kixie finds Narbles napping. He takes him down. Dragonsight comes rushing through. Rips Illinois Wesleyan to about half, but can't find a kill on to anyone. Kodak's incredibly low, so is Chiggs. Frost battling him, but he'll be taken down. Supercharger and Gravitic Flux submitted by Kodak that kills Pleb before the slam down finishes. Quidgible goes down as well. There's a Deadeye. And much like we saw on Numbani, Illinois Wesleyan's going to 3-cap here in regulation, but this time they've only got 18 seconds.
18 seconds is a lot better than 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
That is true.
To Boise State Orange's credit, we've done a much better job holding on Havana, and this is the first time we've seen anything except for first point against Boise State Orange. So this is really just a testament to Illinois Wesleyan's skill as a team, being the first team to make it this far against Boise State Orange. However, Boise State Orange won very much against the odds on Numbani. So you really gotta think, Fish, that they can probably pull this one out.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what they want to do. Their Arissa Sig comp had flashes of brilliance on second point and a couple right around this corridor on third, but wasn't overall better than Illinois Wesleyan. So I'll be curious. Looks like for now every team's going to say, hey, let's all run the same thing. Mirrors are fun. But, I mean, we talked about it. I will say 18 seconds is great. You still have to 3-cap, though, for that 18 seconds to matter. If you don't 3-cap, 18 seconds is more than enough. So Boise State still has a lot of pressure on them to force overtime. Otherwise, they go down and face match point on assault. So the Broncos do not want to do that. And good news for them, they can at least leave their spawn. Illinois Wesleyan, like most teams, is like, we'll just wait for you to come around the first quarter.
Illinois Wesleyan left their spawn, too. By force.
Yeah, that is.
By force and the blood of Boise State Orange, they were able to get that Bastion on the cart for first point.
You can see there. Flash fatal. He's like, hey, I'm just chilling here with my shield. So Boise State, they threw down the Sonic Arrow. Unfortunately, they are not playing themselves. So they will have, unfortunately, wasted a lot of those abilities, as now Illinois Wesleyan can mow them down on the sight line. The Broncos as best they can, trying to use that payload to line of sight most of the damage. As now Illinois Wesleyan's going to retreat around the corner, just putting chip damage here and there. Beanie Bum low, everyone else chilling at full health. Icy with that Orb of Discord. Little halt there, going to try and recenter Illinois Wesleyan. Shields being thrown at each other. Orb of Discord going to land onto Dash now. Quidgible has the Orb of Discord from Illinois Wesleyan. No one taken down quite yet. Kixie incredibly low. Immortality field from Pleb is just ripped apart. But Flash Fatal gets taken down, and Pleb's already got the Amp Matrix for Boise State. We'll see how quickly they can rip through the health bars of Illinois Wesleyan. Unfortunately, it's not in a great spot. No one for the Broncos can use it. Great job by the Titans. Realizing that line of sighting, forcing that Amp Matrix to be wasted. Kodak's going to try and get away, and it looks like Illinois Wesleyan's just going to hand over first point.
They do not get a staggered recontest here, and they probably shouldn't take it even if they did, because this first point hold, if Illinois Wesleyan can win this next fight and that blue door can close behind Boise State Orange, it's going to be really hard for Orange to win this. They really need to win this next fight. And with Gravitic Flux, Dragon, and a little more than halfway to Deadeye, we've got a shot, especially now the Amplification Matrix has been used for not a complete team wipe.
Yeah, both teams have done a great job recognizing the Amp Matrix going down and just immediately line of sighting. So that all will be wasted. Chiggs, though, winning the battle of the Transcendence. He already has his online. Beanie at 60%. And Dash will get a great pick on to Icy there. Chiggs going to take down Beanie Bum. And the blue door is closed, and Boise State's got to reset. So now it's panic time for Broncos.
Things are looking a little scary for Boise State here. It's probably going to be on... We're going to have to see some impressive McCree play from either side, and I think that will determine, that and ultimate usage will determine whether or not Boise State Orange is able to take this next point. We do have the ultimates to do it, and honestly, this is a fortified enough position, it would be worth using 3 ultimates just to cap this point.
Well, there's the Dragon Strike that just absolutely annihilates Dash before the Transcendence from Chiggs can come out. Boise State might have a Gravitic Flux to commit, but there's one that's going to come down from Flash Fatal, comboed in with the Deadeye of Kixie. Won't find anyone as a nice Immortality field from Pleb keeps them alive, and Boise State now has their own opportunity to potentially drop down a Gravitic Flux Deadeye combo. They will lose Frost, however. Dash does have the Dragon Strike if he wants to commit it, as an Ant Matrix is being used by Pleb, and Quidgible just got to retreat there. The Boise State finds just one. They get the Supercharger out of Flash Fatal as well. It looks like the Broncos want to stall that one out, but a great halt! Nearly takes down Narbles, but the Broncos are just going to reset, wait for that Supercharger to fade. It has gone down. We'll see what the Broncos want to do. Sonic Arrow is going to find them out. They're looking at a Dragon Strike Ant Matrix. They've got their own Ant Matrix. Really, everything's on the table except for the Dragon Strike used in that last fight for Boise State. So, curious how many ults they want to throw at Illinois Wesleyan, how many they want to hold. They're right now just sitting up on the high ground. There's the Ant Matrix from Pleb. It's going to kick things off. Dragon Strike will be used. Supercharger Deadeye also committed there. Deadeye might have just been to reload as we swapped over to Narbles as it had just faded, and we didn't see anyone really take damage or any hit markers. As Quidgible finds the first one onto Kixie, he still has the Gravitic Flux, and now Snowbit's going to throw down his own Ant Matrix. The Broncos pushing into it. Still waiting for Gravitic Flux. There's Codex going to use his own Beat 'em up Transcendence to keep everyone on the Broncos alive. Once again, we're still waiting to see when Quidgible wants to drop his own Gravitic Flux. There it is. He'll find it just onto Codex, but an Immortality field will keep him alive from Snowbus. Plebs will be taken out at the same time, and just like that, two members of Boise State go down. They'll trade it just for Flash Fatal, but I think the Broncos are going to unfortunately have to retreat here, as Frost, the last man alive, can't find anything.
We didn't get the value that we needed to out of our ultimates, and Illinois Wesleyan ended up winning the overall spam war. It seems that they are more comfortable on spam comps than Boise State Orange is. However, we are 76% to next Deadeye, having used it last fight. So Narbles has the potential to get something huge there, and Pleb is sitting on 65 to his next Amplification Matrix. So overall, really, that just cost us the tank ultimates and Transcendence.
Snopus at 70% as well, and unfortunately Chigs gets a great pick onto Icy, so Boise has got to retreat, and I think as we see Beanie Bum go down as well, so this has got to be a full reset for Boise State with 2 minutes on the clock. The big difference has been the Gravitic Flux. Codex is hitting everything. Quidgible's just hitting Flash Fatal and Codex, and any good Orisa at this level will just cancel it out with the Fortify.
Absolutely, and the Immortality field definitely is not helping the case for Quidgible's Gravitic Fluxes, to be perfectly honest, because those Immortality fields have been very good. And especially with Tranquility online, it's good that Quidgible's so far from charging his ultimate, because there's not a ton of value that he's going to be getting at the present moment.
See what Boise State wants to do. There's only a minute and a half left. They can probably only afford 2 more fights. They'll take Kixie low. Dragon Strike is available for Frost if he wants to commit it. Dash is low. There's an Ant Matrix comes down from Snowbits. If the Broncos want to wait it out, they might only have one last chance here at the second checkpoint, as they have to 3-cap here to force overtime. Otherwise, Illinois Wesleyan will go up 2-1 in this best of 5 in the NECC Overwatch quarterfinals. There's an Ant Matrix from Pleb. Dragon Strike's committed. Boise State's already taken down 2. Immortality Field gets taken out. They're going into a Dragon Strike right now. Codex used his Ant Matrix there, his Gravitic Flux, and didn't find anything. And now Boise State has an opportunity. They're trying to find another elimination. Down goes Codex, down goes Dash. Flash Fatal hanging out. He gets taken out, and Boise State, when they need it most, going to be able to get second point.
They get a little stagger. They might get a little bit of couple little toe touchers on the point here, but I don't. They just want a full setup there because they have Dragon Strike and their own Supercharger. And Supercharger is an ultimate that makes it relatively difficult to push through this really long sightlines, especially against a spam comp like Illinois Wesleyan is running. So they really good decision on their part to just back up and reset up.
Supercharger immediately gone down. Flash Fatal puts it in a great position, and Boise State can't even find it, as it will just get the full duration, and Quidgible has been taken out. Immortality Field used there by Pleb. Going to keep everyone alive before it gets taken down. Chigs dropped low, has the Transcendence if he needs it though. Snowbus has the Ant Matrix as well. Pleb very close to his. Gravitic Flux by Quidgible will be committed. Up they go, down they come. First time he's gotten value, but a great Immortality Field from Snowbus. Shuts it down, it's immediately focused. This Chigs and Dash have been taken down. Flash Fatal with the Fortify, can't hold on. Codex gets run down, and Boise State gonna get a great 5K here. And they're setting themselves up for one last fight in a very, very close time bank to Illinois Wesleyan, depending on how fast they can go.
Well, Quidgible, man, you kept us waiting for a while, and then you just proceeded to set up a team kill. So, I mean, good job, and it was definitely worth the wait. Now we just need to make sure we get value out of our other ultimates, otherwise we're not going to be able to win this point unless we clean white, because their respawns are so close.
Huge pick onto Snowbus, though. Gonna shut down the Ant Matrix. There's a Dragon Strike from Dash, going to bait out the Tranquility and the Immortality Field, so the Broncos are now out of defensive options. And there's the Gravitic Flux. It's played perfectly. Down go the Broncos. Pleb, the first one to fall. Transcendence by Chigs has been committed. Bang, bang, bang. Boise State goes down, and unfortunately, committing both of your primary support alts in the Immortality Field just to a Dragon Strike is going to cost them on Havana, I think.
It is absolutely going to cost them on Havana, particularly the use of that. Do it, Frost. Particularly the use of that Tranquility. Immortality Field is a little bit more, you can afford to mess that up sometimes, but you really can't afford to mess up an ultimate at all.
Well, the flank got one. Boise State has traded 1 for 1 here. Illinois Wesleyan is going to have respawn advantage. Kixie already back in the fight. He's going to be on that Torbjorn. Unfortunately for Quidgeable, that Gravitic Flux goes nowhere. He does able to take down Dash. Supercharger committed by Flash Fatal. The Broncos in overtime, but they might have done just enough to get us to a overtime game here on Havana. They'll take down Codex right away. Snowbus and Chig's going to just jump in. They will both be, or Chigs will be taken out. Flash Fatal swaps over to the Diva. Is anyone for Illinois Wesleyan going to get there? No. So looks like that little Hanzo cheeky flank worked out just enough, and Boise State gets the 1-minute addition. And they're going to have a little less than 18 seconds less than Illinois Wesleyan. And I'm curious if the Broncos try a close hold once again, because that could either go really well or blow up the whole comp.
We absolutely... So, the thing about close holding is you can just... Even if you, as long as you clean wipe, you get a second recontest. So there really isn't a ton of, like, downfall to it unless you kind of charge the enemy's ultimates. But there's... Other than that, like... In terms of space, there's not a ton of drawbacks to it. And we've seen Boise State hold teams in their spawn for like 4 minutes. And I think now that if Illinois Wesleyan chooses to pull out the Bastion, which it doesn't look like there are, if they choose to do that, I think Boise State will be a little bit more ready for it this time. And it doesn't even look like we're close holding. But if we chose to close hold, I do actually think that that would be something that we could get a lot of value out of.
Well, one thing that might determine if they close hold is how far the Broncos go, because it looks like Boise State's the attacker first, and we already know Illinois Wesleyan has no interest in close holding. So I think that could be another thing, is how far Boise State gets the push in a minute. If they don't get very far, a close hold's necessary. If they get further, maybe they're like, hey, let's just bait them out and win one fight. We saw that was sort of their approach on Numbani, is, hey, we really only have to win one fight. And they took that and we're very close to losing, but we're able to pull it out. So yeah, Boise State will attack first here in overtime. 18 seconds less than Illinois Wesleyan had on the clock. As they will push that cart up, they'll get that free probably 30-40 meters that Illinois Wesleyan is going to concede to them around that first corner. Halt comes out from Icy. Doesn't look like it lands onto anything from our vantage point, as the Titans right now are just giving up free real estate. They have no interest in contesting this payload until it rounds at least the full first corner. Nice pick out there by Narwhal. Doesn't find Dash, but at least know he's trying for a flank behind the Broncos. Over Discord is on the beating bump. They already lose the Immortality Field from Pleb, but it's going to get max value as Illinois Wesleyan just going to wait out that cooldown. Quidgeable and Pleb dropping low. Pleb's got to be careful. He has no way to sustain himself with the Immortality Field. There it comes down from Snowbus. Nope. Dakota's against Flash Fatal, going to find ones. There's Dash as well. Boise State gets the 64 meters. They'll throw down an Ant Matrix from Pleb, but I don't think he can do it all alone. So Boise State took what Illinois Wesleyan gives them. And now that you have this information, D'Angelo, do you think we see a close hold? Because you die on a close hold once, there's no promise you recontest before they get to the parking space.
I think we close hold probably with a Lucio. I think we close hold probably with a Lucio.
Right.
Close hold very carefully, but with a Lucio. I think that would be something that Boise State Orange can 100% pull off. It is 100% within their skill level. And Illinois Wesleyan only had to win one fight, to be fair, so they could give up a lot of space. But give up a lot of space they did. Boise State ended up gaining a lot of free real estate there. So it is actually possible to get not a full recontest, but at least staggers. And we've seen what Boise State Orange can do with staggers, and it looks like we're going with the tried and true close hold here. But now I think we are significantly more ready for the Bastion. Boise State Orange, Boise State teams just in general are learning teams. I don't think they're going to wipe as quickly as they did before. And if we've held teams in their spawn for 4 minutes, I'm relatively confident that we can do it for 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Looks like the Broncos not as close as we're used to seeing.
No, they're going to dive it.
There's no.
They're just sneaking for a second.
Sneaky. There's no. Oh, there's the Bastion. It's like Kixie was on the Ash for a long time, and it's going to be the same route Illinois Wesleyan took last time. Watch out for Dash. You got a first pick onto Frost, and that's what set everything back. Immortality Field from Snow was already taken out. Boise State here goes down goes the Bastion. They're going to force him back into spawn, and 18 seconds gone by, and the Broncos' first close hold works this time.
That was the advantage that Illinois Wesleyan had, that 18 seconds, and now Boise State has more than taken that one advantage from them and still holding strong and at an ultimate advantage even. Things are looking pretty nice for Boise State Orange here.
Coalescence comes out from Pleb right away, trying to stabilize Boise State's health bars. Once again, Illinois Wesleyan, same route. They're going to immediately retreat back to spawn. A great bait. Icy wasn't ready for the Bastion in turn form, sitting in the spawn door. And Boise State's lost to Reinhardt. He should be able to get back in time. Quidgible taken out of the mech.
Get him!
Nice pick onto Chigs, though. Quidgible not going to be able to survive. Immortality Field from Snobus comes down. Time is bleeding out, though. And Boise State is going to have EMP Blossom online. With Beanie Bum going down, they're going to have enough time for one last recontest here. Winner will win the map.
And you know what? Illinois Wesleyan is sitting at a massive ultimate advantage. They have the potential to blow 6 ultimates this fight, but you can't ult if you're EMP. So really, this comes down to Frost if Boise State is going to win.
There it is. It's on to 4, but the tank board came out, and the Tranquility came out from Chick, so they only lose Kixie to start.
But that's huge.
Nice double hack onto Codex. It shut down the Gravitic Flux for so long. Now he's able to get it off, but he dies before the slam down finishes. Boise State has now taken out Chigs and Snobus as well. Kixie over to the Soldier, probably not going to get back in time. It wasn't the 6-man EMP you wanted, but it was enough for Boise State to once again clutch it in overtime and put themselves on match point.
It was a 6-man EMP, but it wasn't a 6-man Death Blossom because of the defensive support ultimates. And I mean, you can't really expect much more from a Death Blossom than that. If the support's ult, they ult.
Yeah, it was a great transcendence from Chigs. I thought that was going to save Illinois Wesleyan, and it was also the tank form came out from Kixie, and then he just blew up. I mean, unfortunately, Boise State.
That's true.
We talked about it in Doxke's the game as well with target focus, and the orange team like, hey, the Bastion, you're not going to get to play the game. And also, huge props to Frost. Not only did he EMP, he immediately rehacked Codex so he couldn't drop the Gravitic Flux. That was like 10 seconds where Sigma's like, I got nothing, guys. So that was a huge Frost MVP for that map alone in overtime as Boise State.
Yes.
Both their wins, I'm not going to say they're confidence builders because they kind of just struggle through and then pull it out in overtime, but they're up 2 maps to 1.
Fish. That's a very glass half empty way to look at things, Fish. I prefer the perspective of these teams are just very skilled teams. I mean, we're sitting relatively late in the tournament, and so they're both very skilled teams, and so the matches are going to be close. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if you run Monkey Diva into Arissa Sigma Brigitte McCree. That's not something that matters because you win.
Boise State did get away from that this time, though. They're finally like, hey, guys, like Arissa Sig's actually like maybe what we should do. And we got to go to Assault now, and we talk about the snowballiness nature of it. And I've got to say, from what I've seen, not to, flip it on you and go glass half empty, but if a team's going to snowball, it's probably going to be Illinois Wesleyan. Probably.
But if a team's going to pull it out in overtime with the staggered recontest, it's going to be Boise State Orange, Fish.
It's true. You just got to make sure they stand on the second point in overtime. Just a reminder, you got to do that.
We don't talk about Laskaya, Fish.
Yeah, it's still fresh in the minds of people like myself who were like, oh, Boise State's got this, and then the game just ends. And every time a C9 happens, everyone has the same reaction. They're like, what happened? So painful memories on Volskaya, but it's a different tournament. Maybe it's a different Boise State team. But so far, loser who picks map has not lost. Boise State got the first pick on Numbani as the higher seed. Then they won. Illinois Wesleyan got control. They won. Boise State on Havana wins after picking it. Volskaya picked by Illinois Wesleyan potentially maybe favors. I'm just saying it maybe favors Illinois Wesleyan because they picked the map. Whoever's picked the map has not lost so far tonight. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Which makes sense,
Boise State Orange is The control isn't necessarily our strong point, so I wasn't necessarily holding out for us to like 3-0 them on that. I was really just kind of banking on the Havana here, which we pulled out. Volskaya, this is going to be sketchy. It is one of Icy's favorite 2CP maps, but that was a couple of metas ago, so it'll be interesting seeing how Boise State copes this time. It looks like they're not running dive tanks into full stuns, so that's a bonus. That's a bonus for them.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction will go to overtime, and Illinois Wesleyan is probably going to have like 2 more minutes on the clock, just because Illinois Wesleyan has been the more snowbally team. Boise State has had to win 2 games in overtime, winning on a very clutch last fight that has all surrounded Frost's EMP. I don't know if we'll see EMP here on Volskaya as we kick things off. Illinois Wesleyan right now getting up on the high ground. No one has been eliminated yet. We see the only difference between the teams is the Brig and the Zenyatta. Brig for Boise State, Zenyatta for Illinois Wesleyan. Chiggs has been really, really well, and that nearly saved them with a huge transcendence dodging the EMP. Ant Matrix for Snobus is already up, and you can see Pleb's only at 33%. So if they want to take a fight, they're going to have an Ant Matrix, and Boise State's not even going to be close.
Ant Matrix from the high ground.
There's the Ant Matrix from the high ground. Going to try and block with as many shields as possible. As Icy with the Orbit Discord taken low. They'll give up on their window and jump right down onto the point. They immediately, though, for Boise State, will take down Snobus' Immortality Field. Icy incredibly low, but he's holding on for now. No one for Illinois Wesleyan really below 50%. Finally kicks he is, but an Immortality Field not enough to keep Quidgeable alive. Dragon Strike comes out. There's a nice halt.
There it is.
And Boise State picks up 2. Flash Fatal goes down as well. Looks like Boise State has sent Illinois Wesleyan running for the hills. A long first fight, but it will favor Boise State just slightly.
A long first fight that got ultimates out of both teams, so Boise State isn't even sitting at that much of a... They're not sitting at an ultimate disadvantage. And we got a long first fight of that. We got a lot of time out of the bank. And if you're the defending team, that's the name of the game. Time.
Okay, see across the board, Boise State, at least in the comparable categories, winning in most of them. Narble's already at the Deadeye, Kixie at only at 50%, Quidgeable at 90, Kodet's at 60. The only reason Frost is losing is because he got a Dragon Strike in that first fight and Dash didn't. Exactly. He's already used one in this game, and we see Pleb's Immortality Field taking down. Snobus has got some great value out of his Immortality Field, so it's going to be paramount for Boise State to burn it down as quickly as possible. With the route Illinois Wesleyan's taking, Pleb might have his back up for another fight. They're probably waiting for Snobus' Ant Matrix to come back online as it's at 79% and climbing rather quickly. And Transcendence is up for Chiggs as well. There's the Gravitic Flux, a stun onto Quidgeable. Good job holding it. Now he's going to commit it. Only finds it onto Codex. The Deadeye used, but it's not going to find anything. There's Codex's Gravitic Flux Supercharger used as well, and a Transcendence. Nice job by Frost. Finding out the Supercharger, unfortunately for Boise State, as we've seen before. They get a Bongo and no more, as it's going to be a team kill for Illinois Wesleyan and let the snowball potentially just start rolling downhill.
Pleb does have the amplification matrix up, so I do actually think that Boise State can stop this snowball if we get set up with an amplification matrix on the high ground, because Illinois Wesleyan takes a while to push. So as we can see, Boise State has already set up before they're really pushing in earnest. And so we can get a lot of value out of an amplification matrix here. And if we can do that, then Beanie Bum's rally is only 20% away.
Unfortunately for Boise State, an Ant Matrix from Snobus absolutely rips through the team. Icy used the Supercharger. Boise State's trying to use this to the best of their advantage. Deadeye from Kixie is going to pick up 1, and the Broncos now have to swap over to contest as fast as possible. Icy on the Wrecking Ball just gets annihilated. 2 ticks down already for Illinois Wesleyan. Now being contested. Dragon Strike from Dash going to come through. There's the Ant Matrix going to be used from Pleb as he gets taken down. In Illinois Wesleyan, I think that snowball got out of control quickly, D'Angelo, because they just ran through, and they've got 3 minutes and 20 in the bank should we head to overtime.
You're right, Fish. They pressed Q first. Snobus pressed Q before Pleb did, and so they got second point.
I don't know if Pleb had it. Snobus and Pleb.
Pleb did have.
He did?
It was their win condition. It was their win condition. It was the snowball stopper, and they didn't use it to stop the snowball.
And they got caught up in it. I will say that's the one thing where Illinois Wesleyan, at least first point, Snobus was just miles ahead of Pleb. And we're talking like alt up to 30% on the very first fight. So the Ant Matrix has usually favored Snobus. He's probably gotten a little bit better Immortality Fields as well. So that's the one thing we have to watch for Boise State. they're going to just, they're going to take that and throw it right out the window. They're going to go back to, what do you like to say, D'Angelo? Comfort picks kill teams?
Yes, comfort picks kill teams is exactly what I say, Fish.
Well, what do you think about Boise State going back to their comfort pick here on Assault when they could win and go to the semifinals?
I think that Illinois Wesleyan, if they're smart, which they've been shown to be, is going to have the high ground, and Icy's going to have a really unfortunate time on Reinhardt, and so is Narbles on Reaper. Both very close-range characters.
I'll just, shadow step right behind him, right?
Shadow step into the team, Fish.
Yeah,
100%.
Easy.
That is
Easy.
the strat. Don't worry about it, guys. Oh my gosh. Send him up with the TP and send Quidgible up with him with a DM.
Boom.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. That's team play.
We fixed it. I will say, though, it doesn't look like Illinois Wesleyan, apparently they don't care about the high ground. They only have Codex up there to stall out Boise State, who we talk about them picking Havana. They will take this route every single time we're on Volskaya, and they'll do it once again. And Illinois Wesleyan's actually the one who have the low ground. Neither team really trading much. Now Boise State's going to drop down through the command center here. Quidgible waiting for a potential flank, but he'll now follow in with the rest of the team. Icy's still got to find a way to get there. He's holding that shield as long as he can. He's got the Orb of Discord. They're going to jump right on the dash up on that Torbjorn on the side. Narbles, though, going to get the first pick on the Chick. Boise State's going to let that Torbjorn do his thing. Quidgible forced out of the mech, however, by that Torbjorn. Immortality field from Snowbish, but Boise State finds a way to shut it down immediately. They'll trade 1-for-1. Codex and Flash Fatal are so low, and there they go. Icy picks up 2, swinging the hammer. And Boise State's going to start off here with a nice little win.
Boise State Orange is doing nothing traditionally. I mean, to be fair, Illinois Wesleyan didn't have the high ground, and once you give up high ground and you come to the Reaper and the Reinhardt, they pop off and kill your entire team, which Icy and Narbles absolutely did an amazing job at doing. And Boise State is looking pretty good to snowball this because Illinois Wesleyan is not going to have a ton of time to set up for the Reinhardt Reaper ball that's coming at them, especially with Coalescence and almost a Death Blossom online.
Illinois Wesleyan does have the Molten Core, and Snowbish has charged the Amp Matrix decently quick, so a lot of pressure on him to get that Amp Matrix up in time because his windows have melted Boise State. Well, the Broncos are going to use their window to jump right in. There goes Flash Fatal. Molten Core does come out as well as the Coalescence, but the Broncos are the only one who picked up an elimination for now. Pleb, though, just barely hanging on. Frost now takes down Dash, but he will be taken out by the Molten Core. Boise State has picked up another one onto Codex, but Kixie doing what he can. He'll take down Pleb. They'll trade that one off for Chicks. Amp Matrix comes down for Snowbish, but he'll be taken out. And the Broncos, at least for now, starting to rack up, but a nice stop there. Only is going to be contested at just 1 tick on the point. Death Blossom's available, but Illinois Wesleyan's got the respawn.
There it is.
Nice stun onto Codex. He will be taken out. Doing a great job staggering the Titans here, potentially forcing us into overtime.
Death Blossom in their spawn.
But maybe. Snowbish does get down the Immortality field. It's immediately taken out. Narbles, maybe he thinks his advantage will carry over to the next round because he has said, I don't need to use it at all. And Boise State, at least to my surprise for now, might have more time. There's the Death Blossom in their spawn. Boise State can have a 57-second advantage when we go into overtime. Not what I was expecting.
Once they won that first fight, I was looking at the comps and I was like, we have a pretty good chance to snowball this, and we absolutely did, and it didn't even take us the Death Blossom. We just got a lot of value on the Coalescence, and they did not get a lot of value on the Molten Core. But, to be fair, there's not a ton that Orisa can do when she is faced 2 meters away from her with a Reinhardt and a Reaper. So...
yeah, first time Flash Fatal's been really in a bad position. I mean, because Boise State's run this Reinhardt Reaper comp, and Flash Fatal's just kind of sat there and thrown down shields and had an easy time. So that's really the first time he's been caught out. So we'll head to overtime, and for the first time, Boise State's going to have the time bank advantage by 57 seconds. We'll see if they can use that to send themselves to the semifinals where they would meet Big Brother, as Boise State Blue, who got a bye as the best team, is waiting for the winner of this game.
It's always a good day to be a Boise State fan, but it's an amazing day to be a Boise State fan when you have a shot at both of your teams facing each other in the semifinals with a guarantee that one of them is going to the finals.
Yeah,
that's just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually the opposite, where there was a chance Boise State could meet in the finals.
True.
Unfortunately, neither team made it. Top 8 for Orange, top 4 for Blue there, but Boise State could be guaranteed 2 top 4s and a chance in the finals, but they've still got to finish things off, and that's a great way to start. Dash gets taken out immediately by Frost. Illinois Wesleyan going to copy Boise State. Nice Sonic Arrow, going to give the Broncos all the information they need to know. Not going to be able to do anything much with it, as Illinois Wesleyan just going to wait for Dash to respawn, and 30 seconds have already gone by here in overtime. Boise State leading 2-1 here in the NECC quarterfinals. Is now Illinois Wesleyan, they have their Hanzo back. They're going to go for the long play around, trying to cut off the sight lines of the 3 members of Boise State, as the Broncos are split up. Looks like Quidjable and friends will give up that high ground. Illinois Wesleyan will gladly take it over, but they're taking a ton of damage in the process. Flash Fatal and Codex sitting at 70%. Now they're going to try and jump right down on the point. A minute already burned off by Boise State here in overtime. Quidjable dropping low, though. He's got the Orb of Discord stunned around a corner, and a nice immortality field from Pleb is going to keep him alive. And Frost once again gets the first pick onto Kixie, and Illinois Wesleyan's got to be careful. They're starting to run out of time. Ant Matrix from Pleb going to go down. Snobus doesn't quite have his. Chig's incredibly low. He was able to survive, and now with 40 seconds left, Kixie flipping over to the Soldier. Going to try and get back into the fight here and make Boise State at least work for it in overtime. Snowba's going to drop his Ant Matrix down. Boise State just going to line the sight, take down some shields. Unfortunately, Dash finally gets one back onto Frost. Now they're going to lose Quidjable as well, and everything goes south for Boise State in a hurry. The Immortality Field saves nobody. Codex dropped low. Nice halt there from Flash Fatal onto Icy. He will fall, and with just 18 seconds left, they're going to be able to cap first point here in overtime.
Sitting on some very important ultimates as well. A snowball is possible. Beanie Bum will have to use his Tranquility very skillfully, and Pleb will have to charge his Amplification Matrix like now if they want to deny the Illinois Wesleyan attempt at snowballing here.
Broncos going to have
Pleb?
at least 4.
Pleb has filled out his part of the deal. Now he just needs to press Q when they start trying to rotate to the point.
Supercharger drop by Flash Fatal. Only 15 seconds left for Illinois Wesleyan. They do have to move a little bit quicker than we've been used to seeing as the Dragon Strike comes out from Frost. It's not able to find anyone. Beanie Bum's going to drop down the Transcendence. As we see, the Gravitic Flux has been used by Codex. Narvel's going to drop the Deadeye. One in the head to Flash Fatal. Icy's going to take down Kixie as well. Transcendence used by Chigs. We're in overtime, so that Illinois Wesleyan cannot afford to lose this fight. Unfortunately, it's Snobus against the world with an Ant Matrix. It's not going to be enough. And Boise State's only going to concede a small portion here. They're setting themselves up in a great spot to wrap things up on Assault and head to the semifinals.
Boise State Orange is a learning team. We didn't press the Amplification Matrix first last time, but this time we absolutely did, and it stopped the snowball. As an Amplification Matrix has the ability to do, especially if you catch them in rotation, which is exactly what Pleb did, and which is exactly what enabled Boise State to keep a hold of that second 2CP point.
Now the question becomes, how much of a learning team is Illinois Wesleyan? Because if the Broncos come out with the same comp they did, and Wesleyan realizes, hey, maybe we should just sit on the high ground, things are not going to go as well for Boise State as they went last time.
Oh, absolutely not, because as long as you have the high ground against a Reaper Reinhardt, you can afford to give them 1 or 2 ticks, and you'll probably have an elimination at that point where it'll be much safer for you to go in. Flash Fatal's one thing on Orisa is he doesn't like giving up any of the point, which definitely makes a lot of sense, but sometimes you can afford to get those kills that you need before you engage.
Boise State this time, the team with the more time on the clock. Ironically, both times we've gone to overtime so far in this series, the team with the least time on the clock has actually been the winners, and both times it was Boise State. So we'll see now with the extra 57 seconds what they want to do is...
Be down one?
Kixie just walked off the edge, which is huge for Boise State. I don't know if they know, so he might be able to get back in time, but that is an awful way for Illinois Wesleyan, already facing series point to start things off. Quidjable's going to take down Chicks. Immortality Field from Snobus just on himself. As Boise State will lose Quidjable in the mech. Icy does go down, so it's a great recovery from Illinois Wesleyan. There will be another trade, though. Snobus is taken out. Dash will take down Frost, and for Boise State, even up in a 6v5, they still lose first fight, but plenty of time here to reset. Not even going to be able to get a tick onto the point. Flash Fatal making sure that doesn't happen as he gets taken out, and Boise State's going to go for the reset.
I am genuinely a little bit upset about that, and I think the biggest thing we did there was we didn't all consolidate in one place. We were all fighting individual targets because we were up 2 within the first 5 seconds of the fight.
Yeah.
Because Quidgible also confirmed the kill on their Zenyatta as well. So they were down a DPS and a healer.
And they baited a solo immortality field from Snobus and couldn't quite find him. I'm not really sure what Flash Fatal was thinking going for the wreck. He really hates anyone capping the point, D'Angelo, apparently.
He
he's like,
absolutely
he's like,
does.
I gotta get on Wrecking Ball because I gotta get back on the point. You were there in plenty of time, but we'll see how that maybe messes with the Illinois Wesleyan comp. We've seen some teams pull out Wrecking Ball in incredible fashion. Flash Fatal does not look to be one of those players. The immortality field barely keeps him alive, however, and now he will go down. So they'll trade Icy for Flash Fatal. Beanie Bum's got to retreat. Barely surviving there. Frostin decently close to the EMP. Should have it up before the time runs out. But right now, Boise State just has to wait. They've got to let Icy get back in the fight on that Reinhardt. Flash Fatal is insisting that Wrecking Ball is the right choice because how dare Boise State start capping that blue circle at all?
Absolutely. Over my dead body, says Flash Fatal.
He's just going to hand him free alt charge there. He gets soloed out, so it's a 65. Deadeye comes out from Kixie. Boise State's just going to line of sight that one. Coalescence was used. They have the EMP bomb if they want to drop it, but a good job by Illinois Wesleyan. Somewhat bringing spread out. Because he hit him with a translocator. He's going to fight a solo hack onto Codex. Dragon Strike comes through from Dash. Narvel's dropping low, but he's able to be sustained. There's an Ant Matrix from Snowbix. The Broncos have got to be able to find a way to use this EMP. There's a translocator. He's going to drop it onto 3 members. Diva Bomb gets one. Pleb gets a second one. Boise State's starting to run out of time, honestly, here. Flash Fatal's going to take him down. Kixie dropping low. Boise State with the numbers advantage, but Illinois Wesleyan is starting to respawn. Minefield dropped on top of the point. Narwhals and Pleb have got to be incredibly careful as Narwhals gets taken out by Dash, and Boise State, even though it feels like they've won every single fight so far, have gotten 1 tick on this point and right now are running out of time as they're now into overtime here. They've got to find a way to cap this and give themselves a shot at winning. They aren't able to get a double kill from Quidgible. Dropping Flash Fatal incredibly low. Gravitic Flux from Codex is going to be used, and he's going to be able to get it off, but no eliminations. And Boise State should be able to. Probably wanted to keep that sound barrier for second point.
Yeah, I think we forgot that we have to go to second point, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that was a little confusing, though. Boise State, they've got to run. They only get the 30-second time extension. Great job by Codex stalling out. He's going to take down Narbles, and the Broncos have got to keep running. 15 seconds left. Illinois Wesleyan's going to be set up, so Codex had a great job there.
Icy is faced with the difficult job of getting a huge shatter against double shield. And he's got to get the Zenyatta, otherwise it's negated, if they want to cap this point.
Dragon Strike comes out. The Broncos are able to hop onto the point here. They get 1 tick. They're on to the semifinals to take on blue. Unfortunately,
double shield.
Quidgible goes down. That shatter is completely nullified. Chicks threw down the Transcendence just in case. Kixie's going to take down Frost, and I don't think Boise State's going to find anything here. They're going to lose every single player on the team. Quidgible going to try and swap over to the Wrecking Ball. It's not going to matter. And we're going to end up with a tie in the playoffs.
Now, Fish, what am I going to say about the fact that we tied in the playoffs?
Comfort picks kill teams.
Yes. I mean, yeah, okay, that isn't what I was going to say, but yeah, all right, good there. We did not necessarily have the comfort pick. Comfort pick, to an extent, did kill the team there. But also, if you're going to run Reinhardt Reaper, you've got to consolidate and you've got to push.
Yeah.
You've got to press W. It felt like Boise State won every single fight because we would get the eliminations, we would get the picks.
Yeah.
But then we would just stop. We're just like, it's okay, guys. There's been enough bloodshed. It's time to be a pacifist.
That's what it felt like.
Let's talk. Let's talk this over.
Will you let us cap the point, please?
Please let me have Volskaya. Thank you.
Next year, you can come over for Thanksgiving. Not this year, but next year you can come over and we'll all be friends.
What? You are Hammerman and Edgelord, and you're not inting your brains out onto the tanks on the low ground. If you're going to run comfort picks, at least do the things that benefit those picks the most, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a ton of sense. It was, like I said, it really felt like, all right, I'm like, okay, Boise State's won. 0 progress on the point. Boise State's won again. 0 progress on the point. And it really just felt like, yeah, it was just, I mean, you mentioned first fight. Kixie self-destructs off the edge somehow before the game even starts.
Somehow.
Chigs gets just obliterated. Then they have to solo Immortality Field, and they still somehow won the fight for Illinois Wesleyan. I don't know how that worked, but Boise State, as you mentioned, fight after fight they won. They just never capped first point and just eventually ran out of time.
They weren't all shooting the same thing. But now, I mean, 2 CP maps are horrible anyway.
Yeah.
So now we go to the last map in the series.
Well, we have to have another map, right?
Yes, we have to, because someone's got to win,
I mean,
right?
if Illinois Wesleyan wins Lijiang, we'd be tied at 2. So we might have more. I don't know how because NECC, as we said, not TESPA, they start with hybrid first. So if Illinois Wesleyan wins, we would have to go to a 6th map to make up for the draw. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully Boise State can win here on Lijiang.
Let's not do that.
I wonder who picks here as well. I guess it's just controlled, not played. But I was going to say, who gets to pick? Because we also would have had Ilios as a potential option.
I'm relatively confident that this is an Illinois Wesleyan pick.
Well, there's a nice teleport. Boise State, by the way,
very nice.
Beats them to the punch by a good 20 seconds. Great job, Narbles, outplaying Kixie. They're not really able to get anything for it, as Snobus has been huge with these immortality fields, but the Broncos are on the point to start. Now they lose Pleb, so everything goes to waste. A huge teleport flank from behind, but the Broncos read it perfectly. They'll take down Flash Fatal, who made it his mission to not allow Boise State to unlock the point, but they will trade it off for Quidgible. And now Illinois Wesleyan can get set up on the point, as this has been anything but your typical Lijiang Tower first map of first Symmetra teleporter in wins, as now Boise State starting to clean things up. Chick goes down, Snobus has to retreat, and the Broncos are going to start with the point here.
Chigs was not aware that Brig Shield did not cover his right and left. I don't think he quite knew where the damage was coming from. He was looking for it. And to be perfectly honest, there's not a ton that a solo Brig would have been able to do. That was a scary first fight for Boise State there, really, truly. They lost Pleb, and I was sincerely concerned. I think Icy Pick on the Reinhardt made Illinois Wesleyan just the right amount of afraid to push them to enable Boise State to cap the point.
2 windows and a bigger window appear there. We've got double amp matrix and a photon barrier. Every team's just going to wait that one out. Now they're going to reset Frost, being very sneaky. He has the blizzard available. There it is. He's going to throw it down. Deadeye is used. He's able to get a freeze on the dash. The Immortality Field's going to keep him alive, and a photon barrier from Kixie will as well. So Ultimate's being committed and nothing taken out but a pair of Immortality Fields so far. Boise State, of course, more than content with this because they are now up about 50%. Kixie will go down. Snowbus dropping a second Amp Matrix. My goodness, this man is a Baptiste main. As Chigs and Kodak's going to use that to take down 2. Quidgible Supercharger immediately gets destroyed, and on the back of Snowbus, Illinois Wesleyan is going to flip this point at about 67%.
It's always on the back of Snowbus, isn't it?
I mean, this man charges Amp Matrix. He might beat Pleb to another Amp Matrix.
Snowbus?
Even with the 50% lead for Pleb right now.
Snowbus is just doing an absolutely amazing job. As we're seeing through Snowbus's play, Immortality Field is not about having somebody live for the duration of the Immortality Field. It's about getting you those extra couple seconds so that a May Blizzard, the only thing it gets you a pick for is your McCree when you were able to Blizzard like 4.
Yep.
Just Snowbus is doing an absolutely amazing job on the Baptiste. This man needs to be stopped immediately.
Well, Pleb does get his second Amp Matrix. Unfortunately for Boise State, they can't find anything because they even threw down the Shatter, and Boise State is only able to pick up Codex and Chigs. Flash Fatal still has the Supercharger available, and Boise State's going to have to retreat here, and they're more than content. They still have the lead, but Illinois Wesleyan, when they're on points, they do not concede them very quickly.
Illinois Wesleyan is a very defensively oriented team. They're doing a really good job at defending. I mean, at first glance, you would think just send the Reinhardt into them, but then you realize they have Brig McCree, and that slightly complicates things. But Frost has another Blizzard online, and that will be the win condition for Boise State getting this next point. And please, for the love of God, line of sight this Snowbus window, or just maybe by some miracle he doesn't pop it.
There's the Amp Matrix. We're not going to fall for that one, but Boise State will line of sight. They'll even Maywall. They do have a flank in the back.
No!
Dash is able to take down Narbles. I would have suggested maybe you take a dry fight here, get some ultimates out of the way, and then reset. And there's a Gravitic Flux and a Rally, both going to be committed, but Boise State can't afford to. They're going to throw down the Blizzard. Immortality Field dropped by Pleb. but it's not enough. And Snobus once again, the perfect immortality field. Frost had to reload and could not get a double kill. A pulse bomb from Kixie picks up 2, and Boise State probably going to have one staggered recontested bad. Nope, not even that. Snobus MVP. My man's insane.
Snobus is... He's got a massive backpack on, and the entire team is in that backpack.
Yeah.
This man hasn't been hit with a single DPS ultimate, which is just very impressive for support play. That is like the goal, is to never get hit by a DPS ultimate. And especially if you're baptized, you can just stop people from dying to whatever DPS ultimate. I would be curious to see his amount of lives saved at the end of this game relative to the amount of deaths he has.
I mean, he saved at least 4 in Frost 2 Blizzards. I mean, he just shut down Frost Blizzards.
A single control map. This man has been popping off like that all the maps, all game.
Well, unfortunately for Illinois Wesleyan, despite his play, they're still trailing in the series. This is Game 5. We actually had a draw on Assault. Unsure of what happens if Illinois Wesleyan wins on Lijiang. We'd think we'd have to go to a 6 map to break the 2-2 tie. Boise State does not want that to happen right now. If they can pick up the next 2 on Lijiang, they're on to the semifinals. Winner plays Boise State Blue in our second game of the night. But there's Snobus. There's that man again. Frost is going to go down, but they are able to take him out as the team's going to trade 2 for 2 overall. Boise State's going to retreat. There's no supports for Illinois Wesleyan, so they're not going to have a great way to heal. Slash Fatal will go down, so will Codex. Boise State realizing that, and Squidgeable comes charging in. Once again, Boise State with first control of the point as Illinois Wesleyan will reset.
Snobus is dead. Boise State gets the point. That's how it works.
Yep.
You kill Snobus, you win the fight. There it is, guys. No, we know our win condition. There it is. And now that Boise State Orange has the point, we can kind of take fights where we want to rather than having to dive into this small little area. But it looks like Illinois Wesleyan is still trying to force us to do that anyway.
And they do have the Deadeye available. Dash very close to the duplicate. There's the Deadeye, but there's that nice little pillar right in the middle of the map that I don't think Kixie realized is. You can see him walking forward, letting everyone know that the sun has hit high noon and he's not going to find anything for it. Duplicate's going to go out onto the Moira. Interesting choice there from Dash. A Gravitic Flux with Codex and a Slam Ice to the ground. Sound Barrier, though, is used from Beanie to keep everyone else alive. Diva Bomb from Quidgeable just able to take down the Immortality Field. Beanie Bomb takes down Flash Fatal, but he'll trade it off for Narble, who's taken out in the process. Codex dropping low, has been hacked. Quidgeable has to be very careful. Can't quite rocket boost away. Taking out both in the mech and Baby Diva form, and much like we saw on the first map, right around 60%, Illinois Wesleyan finds a way to come right back in, and they'll cede control at 67.
They didn't kill Snobus. Snobus lived.
Yeah.
And so they lost the fight. There it is, guys. This game is entirely dependent on whether or not we kill Snobus.
It's like Dash has had some interesting I don't know why you pick Moira over Winston.
I don't think he meant to be perfectly honest.
Sombra earlier, too. I mean, both teams have struggled to figure out what to do with Echo.
Sombra, you can at least hack lock somebody.
That's true.
For the entirety of the duplication. I mean, most good teams will just melt you because you're a 200 HP hero.
Speaking of Sombra, there's a 4-man EMP, but Chick gets the rally off. There's the EMP Death Blossom we haven't seen in a few weeks, and Boise State pulls it off for perfection. It's a team kill. The Broncos going to flip the point back, something they could not do on map number 1 of Lijiang.
We haven't seen it in a couple weeks, but it was more than worth it.
It was.
That was absolutely glorious. What amazing team play there. Because even the Brig used her ultimate there, and so they don't have that to attack with, and that's huge because armor denies Winston tons of value. Winston does not do very well against armor.
Well, they've got the Deadeye, and once
Part
again,
2.
Kixie will fail to realize there's a solid metal barrier. This is not Call of Duty. You cannot get bullet penetration kills in Overwatch. And he will immediately go down, finding no value at all. Immortality Field comes out and immediately bursts down there by the Coalesce. Gravitic Flux Codex is used to try and salvage a losing fight, but with Snobus down, you have to think Illinois Wesleyan is up against it. They do get Beanie Bum. But what else can they find, if anything? They're in overtime, so they cannot afford to lose this fight. And just like that, they will lose everyone. And we're headed to map 3 with Boise State 1 game away from the semifinals.
Beanie Bum was the cost,
They'll take
but
it.
Snobus was definitely worth it.
Yes. Snobus is worth.
Definitely worth the price there, because you kill Snobus, you win the fight.
Snobus is probably worth 2 lives at this point for
I'm
Boise State.
confident that it could be all of Illinois Wesleyan versus one person on Boise State, and as long as you manage to kill Snobus, I believe in the 1v5. As long as Snobus is there, I believe.
That's a little much. These teams are very, very close. There's a reason we're in game number 5.
I'm sorry, Icy contest Numbani what?
He had Quidgible there.
Icy Quidgible
Then
contest Numbani what?
Then the rest of the team came in. Okay, maybe. But if Snobus is alive, I'm surprised Snobus hasn't 1v6 at this point, because
That's so true.
I mean, what happens to
so
Snobus is exactly what is going to happen in the first fight. If Snobus lives, Illinois Wesleyan wins. If he dies, Boise State's going to win. That's what we have to watch out for. Both teams going to teleport in here. Pleb, the first one taken down.
Snobus.
Beanie Bum still taken low. Narbles has got to be careful. There's the Immortality Field from Snobus that is dropped. And Boise State not finding a pick onto Snobus, probably has to reset as Narwhals has gone down as well. Beanie Bum is incredibly low. Illinois Wesleyan going to try and catch the point. The Broncos will contest it with respawns coming out. That charge goes nowhere for Icy, unfortunately. Quidgible now forced out of the mech. Going to be taken down in the Baby Diva form as well. And if Snobus lives this long, you're not going to find success. He already has an amp matrix available if he wants to use it. He's going to hold on to it because Illinois Wesleyan's starting to win here, and Boise State's going to have to reset. No Snobus, no win.
We should have reset once we were down 2. I am not quite sure why we extended that as long as we did, because Fish, I would like you to take a moment to look at the ultimates that are going on right now. I mean, we have Tire. We're winning the Tire battle, but that is our only saving grace.
That's about it. I mean, the good news is even though they lost 2, most of that was fun contesting, so they really didn't give away any extra percent, which you and I harp on all the time of, hey, you're down 2, the other team already has the point, you're just wasting percent. At least they contested it, so they didn't lose any percent. As they're going to hop right in here, as you mentioned. Alt advantages on the side of Illinois Wesleyan. There's a Photon Barrier, Riptire, and a Gravitic Flux. Hey, let's throw a window in for good measure. Riptire takes down Beanie Bump. Coalescence from Pleb has been committed. Narbles now sees an opportunity. He'll commit his own Riptire and take down Kixie. For Boise State, probably would have been best there just dry fighting, as Illinois Wesleyan threw everything they had. Narbles tries to salvage it. But once again, we're nearing 50%. Illinois Wesleyan could be forcing us to a game number 6.
That was absolutely dry fight territory, and I'm a little bit upset that we committed the ultimates that we did there. Plebs was on initiation, so I do understand that a little bit. And Narbles was swapping. So actually, okay, that makes sense now too. I was really confused there for a second. Illinois Wesleyan still sitting on the supercharger and Tranquility, but Snobus doesn't have his ult.
Well, we'll see how fast he can build it. Photon Barrier from Frost immediately starts the fight.
Well,
there's the Transcendence from Chicks, going to keep everyone alive. Still a Sound Barrier up for Beanie Bum. A Supercharger immediately taken down by Boise State. They tried to teleport in behind, but a great job recognizing that as well. The Broncos actually flipped the point. A little bit of a C9 there from Illinois Wesleyan, just full giving it up without really a fight. Quidgible going to try and run down Dash, nearly takes him out, but can't quite find him. Kixie's going to take down Frost. There is an Immortality Field.
Immortality Field is
There's a huge Diva Bomb!
Quidgible!
That's a 6-man Diva Bomb! Boise State's going to flip it. That was insane.
We are going to lose that fight, too. We were down our Symmetra, and Snobus was still alive. But the man misplaced one Immortality Field, and Quidgible proceeds to kill the entire team against Double Shield. Double Shield, Immortality Field. Quidgible still manages to kill everybody.
I want to know who killed the
amazing.
I want to know. The true MVP, by the way, is whoever killed the Immortality Field.
Baby Diva did.
Baby Diva killed. Wow. Okay.
Baby Diva did.
Quidgible MVP. The man cannot be stopped. But for Boise State, they still have to win like 3 more fights. So don't jump out of your chairs just yet. There's that Amp Matrix from Snobus. Pleb going to drop his own. And both of them going to use the Immortality Field. Pleb loses his first, so Boise State will reset. Gravitic Flux from Codex will come down. But a nice Sound Barrier there for Beanie Bum is able to cancel out all of that damage for Illinois Wesleyan. Boise State up at 71%. They win this map. They're headed to the semifinals against Boise State Blue. Illinois Wesleyan wins. We're going to a game 6. Photon Barrier from Frost comes down. Codex gets burned. Flash Fatal will go down as well. Boise State takes down Chigs, and it's one last chance here for Illinois Wesleyan on the reset.
Having killed. Oh, there it is. There's the Snobus kill. Beanie Bum with the Snobus kill. There it is. Now we can officially call it a Boise State 1 fight. And now Illinois Wesleyan is sitting into 1 fight territory, and all they've got is Tranquility to touch the point. And I don't even know that Icy's going to let them with that Shatter.
Codex trying for a flank as Chigs immediately gets taken down. Frost to bring down Flash Fatal on that Wrecking Ball. Codex immediately brought out of the mech, and it looks like the recontest here for Illinois Wesleyan has gone awry. No stall. Snobus does take down Narbles. They've still got a hope if he's alive. He will get burned to the ground before the Transcendence can be used. Kixie gets taken out. Boise State looks like they are going to advance to the semifinals. It's just a matter of how quickly the rest of the members of Illinois Wesleyan are willing to concede, and they will probably concede when they can't get back. And Boise State on the back of Quidgible is going to win Lijiang. A 3-1-1 win as they tie it on Assault, and the orange and blue team are meeting in the semifinals.
Quidgible, man. He's insane. That was absolutely amazing. I cannot emphasize how impressive that is.
Yep.
A Diva Bomb 6-man kill against 2 shields and an immortality field. I cannot emphasize how well Quidgible had to play, and depending on your perspective, how many things had to go wrong for that absolutely amazing Quidgible play to happen. And we were down Narvels, so that fight, and they still had Snobus. That fight was looking sketchy, but it's not a fight. But when Quidgible's around, all you fight is ghosts.
Exactly. I mean, I will say, the other thing that cost Illinois Wesleyan, before that fight, Boise State jumps in on the point, and Illinois Wesleyan just gave up. They're just like, have a free 20%. And they don't do that. Boise State has to take one more fight there.
Absolutely.
Who knows if they win or not?
It's true.
But Illinois Wesleyan did kind of early C9 themselves, if you will. Usually C9's when the game ends, but I think in the long run, they'll see the Diva Bomb and they'll see why did we give up the point that early? And that'll be what Illinois Wesleyan will see. But Quidgible, he won't care. He'll take that play. Yeah. Probably the best play we've seen all semester in terms of a solo play. I mean, we've had some great team combination ults.
It was fantastic.
But that was, especially if it was, like I said, I'll trust you, D'Angelo, that it was the baby Diva on the immortality field. If that was him, he literally hard carried. I mean, there's nothing
we're going to see the play of the game, and we're going to see him pistol whipping the immortality field. We're going to see that on some highlight reel at some point tonight.
Number one play of the night.
And you're going to see a baby Diva just pistol whipping the immortality field. It's going to be there.
Yeah, first mistake Snobus has made all night, and it cost his team in a way
true.
He probably couldn't have ever imagined. He's like, okay, well, immortality field, we'll be safe. We have double shield for the Diva Bomb.
He's like,
we got this.
He's like, what is this man doing running Diva in the double shield immortality field? I don't know. Her ultimate's going to get no value. Wait. But the kill feed.
Well, we're going to have
amazing.
Our ICCU player of the game. I don't know how it's not Quidgible.
If it's not Quidgible, it's got to be Snobus. Clearly,
it's actually Pleb. I was going to say the one thing against Quidgible is, besides that play, he was okay, but there wasn't any other moments in the first 4 maps where I'm like, wow, Quidgible's actually doing a really good job. So it goes to Pleb. But Frost was really their win condition on Numbani.
That's true. Frost was their win condition on Numbani, and Frost and Narbles combo on Havana was absolutely huge. That was good. Because we didn't kill many people because of the Tranquility that came out, but we killed the Bastion.
Exactly. So, I would say...
And that's what you're going for.
You said it 3 maps in as we're going to Assault. This has not been Boise State's best team night. It's been, hey, somebody just solo play this, and hopefully you outplay Illinois Wesleyan, and the rest of us will just hop. Frost had his moments. Everyone had their moments. We'll give it to Pleb in the end, but it's really Quidgible who gets the one play that matters.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all of them. Mainly Pleb. He's who production calls it for. He's the ICCU player of the game. ICCU believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. It's Pleb. It's the rest of Boise State Orange. They're the ICCU players of the game, and they're heading on to the semifinals for a rematch against Boise State Blue, the 3rd time officially that they'll take on the Blue Squad, and things have not gone well.
Not gonna lie, you're not gonna be able to pop off like that against Boise State Blue team.
No, you run your comfort picks, it will kill the team, like you said.
Comfort picks kill the team when you're in against really high elo, really high skill opponents. That, I don't know, man. I don't think Quidgible is gonna be able to get the 6K Diva Bomb there and save Lijiang against Boise State Blue.
I'm not really sure how it's going to go. I believe the first 2 times they've met, it has been 3-0, 3-0 for Boise State Blue. So we'll see if the Boise State Orange team can get at least one map off them and make Blue work for it. We're guaranteed a chance in the finals for Boise State. As you see, here's how the bracket shapes up for the NECC Champions Division playoffs. Boise State Blue, the 1 seed, got the bye. Midland, the 2 seed, got a bye as well. Champlain taking down Becker, Boise State Orange taking down Illinois Wesleyan. So it's Boise State versus Boise State, Midland versus Champlain. Winners will go on to the finals that will take place this weekend, as we heard from the commissioner earlier tonight. 9 different championships going on for the NECC in Valorant, League of Legends, Rocket League, Overwatch, and Madden. So it's going to be a crazy weekend for them. We know one Boise State team is going to be in it, and we're going to find out who it's going to be. We're going to take a quick break. We've got our top 5 plays from that series. We already know number 1. We'll see what the rest of them are going to be, and we'll have Boise State versus Boise State after the break. The high ground early. Immortality Field comes down. Geritic Flux used by Codex. No kills to show for right now. There's a 4-man EMP by Beanie Bum. Coalescence from Pleb comes out. And finally, Boise State takes down Chigs. Icy gets 1. There's another one on to Flash Fatal. Deadeye, though, gets 3 from Kixie. There he adds a 4th one as well. Boise State will get him, but they're going to have to retreat, and now they're starting to run out of time.
Coming in, all we'll have to deal with is Supercharger.
There's the 6-man EMP. Still waiting for the follow-up. Looks like the Dragon Strike came through, didn't find anything. Boise State's picked up 3 so far. With respawn advantage, though, they've got to get full wipes, as Kixie is going to be able to take down Quidgible, who's knocked out of the mech. Frost will get him right back, though, but the respawns are starting to come through here for Illinois Wesleyan.
Lock somebody.
That's true.
For the entirety of the duplication. I mean, most good teams will just melt you because you're a 200 HP hero.
Speaking of Sombra, there's a 4-man EMP, but Chick gets the rally off. There's the EMP Death Blossom we haven't seen in a few weeks, and Boise State pulls it up for perfection. It's a team kill. The Broncos going to flip the point back, something they could not do. Strike is going to cost them on Havana, I think.
It is absolutely going to cost them on Havana, particularly the use of that. Do it, Frost. Particularly the use of that Tranquility. Immortality Field is a little bit more, you can afford to mess that up sometimes, but you really can't afford to mess up an ultimate at all.
Well, the flank, really a fight. Quidgible going to try and run down Dash, nearly takes him out, but can't quite find him. Kixie's going to take down Frost. There is an Immortality Field.
That Immortality Field is
There's a huge Diva Bomb!
Quidgible!
That's a 6-man Diva Bomb! Boise State's going to flip it. That was insane.
We are going to lose that fight, too. We were down our Symmetra, and Snobus was still alive.
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Legendary parts for legendary wins.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We've got our last game of the night, and we're going to get one Boise State team on to the finals of the NECC Overwatch Champions Division as Boise State Blue and Orange meeting in the semifinals off the back of Boise State Orange. Pretty crazy series against Illinois Wesleyan. Game 5, but there had been a tie, so we could have even had a game 6 if Quidgible doesn't just absolutely clutch on Lijiang. Gets the 6-man Diva Bomb, plus takes out the Immortality Field in Baby Diva form. Got the replay to confirm. D'Angelo, of course, knew what she was talking about all along. Don't know why I doubted her. And so Quidgible got to be the man for Boise State Orange, probably against Blue as long as the rest of the team, because these teams have met twice, once in NACE regular season, once in NECC regular season. Boise State Blue, as older brother usually does, kind of beat up on Orange. It's been 2 straight 3-0s, and well, the way they played against Illinois Wesleyan, D'Angelo, I don't want to say Orange doesn't stand a chance, but you're not going to run Ryan Diva, Winston Diva with Sombra in this meta and think to take anything off of Blue, because, as you said, comfort picks will kill teams, and Blue will murder you on your comfort picks.
Blue will murder you on meta picks.
That's true, too.
Blue will murder you on... Blue will just murder. Blue is one of the top teams...
Top 4 in NACE.
But also, independent of NACE, just one of the top teams in the nation.
Yep.
I mean, Boise State Blue is just insane, and Boise State Orange is also insane, as we just watched 5 maps of them winning purely by popping off. Purely by popping off, running comfort picks and just popping off, and that's how they won. But you're not going to be able to do that against Boise State Blue. Like, you're really not.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to be watching out for Goblin trying to do similar things. I do believe that Orange has a shot. First of all, they're going to have to play as a team.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a given. Overwatch is a team game. But also, they're going to have to catch Goblin on all those cheeky flanks that I am 100% sure he's going to try to pull out.
Goblin probably going to be a little bit better than Dash in terms of using those Echo duplicates. As we see the NECC Collegiate Overwatch, New England Collegiate Conference, 17 schools round robin with record seeding the playoffs. Boise State Blue, the best record in the tournament. Midland got the 2nd seed. Becker College eliminated by Champlain in the first round, much like Illinois Wesleyan was eliminated in the first round by Boise State Orange. So it's Midland and Champlain in the other semifinal. Winner will take on Boise State Blue or Orange in the final coming up this weekend. Doc's keys to the game. Never take a fair fight. We always talk about time in Overwatch. What does it mean? Take fights in unexpected places. When they are unprepared, when you can have ability advantages. We saw Boise State Orange leaning on Frost to be able to do that with Sombra, because you have an ability advantage when you cannot press any of your abilities. But I don't think Frost is going to have much of a time here on Sombra if he wants to bring it out, because McCree kind of just shuts down the Sombra if he can find her. He'll one flashbang and fan the hammer, you're dead. I will say, the other thing going against Boise State Orange is, some teams, we stream a lot. Maybe they watch our videos here and there. Blue knows everything you want to do. Unless there's some secret Orange practices, they're going to be ready for close hold Havana. They're probably going to be ready for Numbani, as that's what Boise State picked in Game 1 against Illinois Wesleyan. I mean, they know everything you want to do. Orange literally has to have, secret practices where they ban spectators and don't tell Doc, or Blue knows, and that's going to cost them here, because that's usually how you get an upset, is with some cheeky Havana play. We see, Blue's going to be okay, good luck. We'll okay, nice. We might see it, but I think Blue will be very well prepared.
The closest Orange has got to taking maps off of Blue has been on Havana. So, I mean, clearly they're not that ready for it if Orange has almost taken the map off of them in the past.
That's true. We'll have to see when we get there. We will be guaranteed that, as the playoffs are a best of 5. Little bit different than TESPA, though. It's hybrid control, escort, assault, control. And then who knows what we would have had for Game 6. We had a tie already.
Yeah, true.
I was really hoping for Illinois Wesleyan to win, just to be like, all right, what do we do now? Do we ask Blizzard to make a new game? No. And, hey, Orange, props to them. They're on the meta comp, or at least as meta as they are. Blue is doing what Blue likes to do. They like to bring out this Wrecking Ball.
They like
sort
to
of
counter meta.
Well, yeah, the Wrecking Ball. We've seen Northwood do it as well. They bring out the Wrecking Ball. It's all about just eating as many cooldowns as you can and forcing the, hey, ability advantage. Can't have an ability if it's on cooldown. You see Pleb taken down immediately by Plato. Has blocked it his job perfectly. Boise State Blue not even taking the high ground here on Hollywood defense. We see Goblin and Large Bagel dropping low, but nothing too crazy right now. Narwhals does get one, so does Rezo. So great little start there for Orange. Unfortunately, Kell's going to pick up 2 in the process, and the team's trading back and forth. It's in a reset attempt, but Icy, you got to do a little bit more than just walk right into a laser beam. Kell barely living, though. Ooh, Narwhals almost had him.
If Icy had turned around, we absolutely, both of their healers were down. Did you notice that both of their healers were dead and Kell was below 100 HP?
Yeah.
Icy did what tanks do, and you turn tail when you're down 2, but we were immediately even. We should have pushed that. You're not going to get another opportunity with both healers down like that against Boise State Blue.
Well, they have taken down Plato, who's on the Doomfist here. You see him on the Echo or the Torbjorn. Not so far. Immortality from a Large Bagel has been used. Pleb now going to throw down his own Immortality field, both very close to the Amp Matrix, and it's going to come down very soon here as the Riptire from Goblin going to whiff. Rezo low, Narbles low as well. Point still being contested. Orange has not found a way through quite yet. There is the Amp Matrix from a Large Bagel, and Boise State's going to pick up 3. They'll trade it out for Goblin, who's on the Junkrat now, and Boise State. And there's the rally from Frost, down 3. Probably not what you recommend. There's the Grab going to come out. Quidgibble going to throw it down. The Gravitic Flux completely whiffs on it, unfortunately for Boise State, and Immortality from a Large Bagel was used just in case. Frost now being chased down there. He will be taken out. They did get 1 tick on the point for Boise State Orange, but they're going to have to reset once again.
And I mean, we see the Nano just for funsies, I think at this point, just to kind of maybe even get him closer to grab charge, which he already is 21% after. And so Boise State Orange, it's not necessarily a bad thing for them to use 3 or 4 ultimates in one fight, especially to win a fight against a team like Blue. You have to create those opportunities for yourselves, and sometimes you're not going to win the fight unless you're using 3 or 4 ultimates. Now, when you're down 3 is not the time to do that, though.
No, that rally was kind of weird, but Boise State Orange has recovered. There's an Amp Matrix from Pleb that's going to come down. They get a nice pick onto Guac as they have the ult advantage. They still have the Dragon Strike and the Deadeye available. Just a Pulse Bomb Amp Matrix alive for Boise State, and there's that Amp Matrix right on cue from a Large Bagel, and a great line of sight from Boise State Orange. Going to burn that one off the clock. Plato looking for a flank. There's a Pulse Bomb. Doesn't find anything, though, except a little bit of chip damage, and Boise State Blue's going to have to reset. Only 60 seconds left here on defense. Orange got 1 tick, but those ults are in the favor of Orange if they can put them down. Supercharger, Dragon Strike, Deadeye. There's the Dragon Strike going to kick things off. Nice pick on the Goblin, who has not had the greatest time. You said keys to the game for Orange, D'Angelo's getting those cheeky flanks from Goblin and picking him off. They've done a great job of doing that. They'll also take down a Large Bagel. Grab will be used by Kell. Immortality field from Pleb has already been committed. There's not really a lot of damage for Boise State Blue. As they'll now lose Asu. Just Quidgibble taken out. Doesn't really have much of anything in terms of ultimate, so Boise State Orange can reset. There's a Deadeye from Narbles. But much like we saw against Illinois Wesleyan on Volskaya, Orange doesn't feel like they're losing these fights. They're just too scared to push forward as 15 seconds gone by and they've only gotten 2 ticks on the point. Asu trying to run back here, and it doesn't look like Boise State Orange might find a way through. There's the rally. Is going to come out from Frost. Quidgibble has been taken down once again. Immortality from a Large Bagel committed here. Supercharger from IC used. The Riptire only takes down the Supercharger. They'll trade 1 for 1. In overtime, though, Orange starting to lose members. There's a double kill for Boise State Blue and no one on the point. And, I mean, we talked about this on Volskaya at D'Angelo. It really feels like Orange is not winning, but they're not losing fights. They're just not getting any value out of it.
Boise State Orange did not just get full held on that point because they just couldn't kill anything or because they're just bad. Boise State Orange got full held on that point because they didn't push when Boise State Blue was down both of their healers.
Yeah.
And an opportunity like that isn't going to present itself again. They were even at the point, so I understand why they start to run away. But Cal was literally less than 100 HP, facing both Narbles and Icy. If Icy and Narbles had both collectively just landed a single shot on him, they would have been up 1, and Boise State Blue would have been down both healers that are not going to get back to the point very fast, and Zarya, who kind of carried on, and Kel, who kind of carried on Zarya. Not gonna lie. And you kill the carry, you get the point. We got full held, not because of any, like, horrible skill difference or horrible play on the side of Boise State Orange. We got full held because we didn't push our advantages.
Yeah. Almost just, maybe, I mean, you could. Some people might even call that a skill difference, one of those mechanics where, so a player, hey, I can just turn around and one-shot Kel, and it's because Narbles tried to, and him and Icy, they just weren't on the same page. Icy retreating, Narbles going in. As you mentioned, they both turn around. It's 2 supports down, and it's Kel down. But that's not the case. Boise State Blue to take map number 1. Just going to have to get 2 ticks on the point against Boise State Orange. We'll see how the Orange squad wants to do. I am glad this time that Boise State Blue's in blue, Orange is in orangish red, as Rezo gets the first pick onto Asu. Quidjibel takes down a large bagel, and much like we talked about, Orange is holding their own here, but this time a smart disengage by Blue.
Smart disengage by Blue. I mean, you're down both supports. You just kind of, you're gone. There you go. Good job, Boise State Blue. I think it is probably going to take something. I think Boise State Blue, with their current comp, it's probably going to take ults to tear apart Orange, because Orange is picking them in rotation.
Quack's going to jump right up on top of them as the Wrecking Ball there up on the high ground. They're not able to find anything. Now Plato will go dashing in. Quidjibel's going to get another pick. It's 3 eliminations to 0 right now so far on Hollywood for Orange. Finally they'll lose 1, and that quickly snowballs into 2. Quidjibel and Rezo low. They're going to get an immortality field that keeps Pleb and Frost alive. It is taken down, and Ant Matrix will be used, and Pleb's going to take down Asu. He'll get another one on to Plato. Doing his best Snobus impression as Narbles takes down a large bagel as well, and an Ant Matrix flips the fight. And Boise State Blue still hasn't found anything with 2 fights gone.
Boise State Blue is sitting on the blade, though. So, and if they take this point, it's going to be because of ultimates. Because Boise State Orange doesn't have any defensive ultimates, and Boise State Orange is doing a great job at picking Boise State Blue supports, in particular, in rotation. And most of Boise State Blue's team is self-sufficient, but when you're down 2, you're down 2.
Boise State Blue, they have the Dragon Blade online. Asu swapping over to the Yana is not going to have the Nano for quite some time, but he's already building it rather fast as Frost gets a nice pick on to Goblin on the Brig roll for now.
You got to wonder what Goblin was doing in that alley.
He talked about it. I mean, he tries the cheeky flanks.
He absolutely does.
If he gets punished, it kind of shuts down Boise State Blue.
You're not going to kill half the team against Boise State Orange. Like, they know you're there.
I mean,
they're a skilled team. They know you're trying to come around from the alley.
I was say we talked about it. You see the Dragon Strike come out from Rezo. There's a Blizzard and the Nano Blade going to be used. And Boise State Orange is going to walk right through, as they're going to take down. There's a team kill. Boise State Blue probably wins off the back of that alone. Can they get back in time? No. I was going to say, we talked about Orange and how they're going to say, well, they're going to know about your Havana close hold. Boise State Orange is going to know that Goblin wants to do cheeky flanks. I mean, it works. It does work both ways here. So neither team's going to have a advantage. It's going to come down to skill play. And Boise State Blue took them a while. They just waited until they had 4 ultimates online. They're like, all right, here's the Blizzard Genji Blade with the Nano. Just go in. It's Boise State Blue versus Boise State Orange NECC semifinals of the Champions Bracket. One of these teams is going to the finals to play the winner of Midland and Champlain. The other one will end up with a top 4 finish, in Boise State Blue, much like they've done the other 2 times these teams met, win the first match.
Orange was winning the battle. Outside of ultimates, Orange was playing better than Blue on defense. They had not only the superior comp, but they were just playing it better. Oftentimes going up 2, and then Boise State Blue would disengage. But 4 ultimates is 4 ultimates. And when you don't have a defensive ult, I mean, just in general, you can't expect yourself or any team, regardless of their skill, it's unfair to expect a team to weather through 4 ultimates. I've said this before, Fish. I will say it again. It's unfair, and especially if you don't have a DPS ultimate or a healer ultimate online, you can't really do anything. So, I mean, Boise State Blue won that, but it feels a little weird because Orange didn't push when they had an advantage, and Orange was holding them really well on defense, and it took them just 4 ultimates at once to take the point.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Baptiste, a lot of pressure on Pleb to be able to land a perfect immortality field and shut down a lot of those ultimates. So, I mean, we saw it with Illinois Wesleyan. Blizzard came out, nothing happened because it was a great immortality field, and that's just something that we haven't quite seen yet from Pleb, but he's still got 2 maps to redeem himself here. As it is the NECC semifinal. We see that they've got the Overwatch playoffs here for NECC as well as Rocket League. Boise State not in the Rocket League portion, but NECC 9 championship games this weekend. Absolutely incredible. We also got the Maui Invitational coming up tomorrow for Boise State. They are taking on Mizzou in the round of 8. We had a team that couldn't make it. They invited Boise State, who did not qualify by the normal means, into the round of 8. They're playing Mizzou. I believe that game is either tonight or tomorrow, 2 p.m. on ESPNU, if you want to go check that one out. So, tomorrow, 2 p.m. on ESPNU. I believe if you have DirecTV, that's channel 146 or so. Go check that out for Boise State and Mizzou, and if they make the semifinals, they'll also play later on in the day. But we've got NECC playoff action going on right now for Boise State Blue and Orange.
Yes.
What control map can Boise State Orange pull out? Do you think they try Li Zhang and say, yo, Quidgeable, just carry us again?
Yo,
do that thing again. Run it back.
Carry. Just, here's a backpack. We'll all get in it. Good luck with Debo bombs.
We'll bait 6 of them together, force you to solo out the immortality field, and then you launch it in against double shield. Well, they're not even running double shield, though, so maybe it's a little bit easier. A little bit Quidgeable, this one's easy. They don't even have double shield, man. You got this.
That's true. They don't even have double shield and the immortality field. You just have to get them all in the same place. Just have Icy land a god tier halt. Just halt them all in the same place, and then there you go. Orisa Diva, that's the meta tank comp there.
Well, it is Li Zhang, so we'll see if we get a repeat here. As Frost and Pleb are dropping low. Boise State Orange back on their comfort picks, and unfortunately Frost the first one to go down. Quidgeable gonna try and jump right onto Asu as Rezu takes down Kel, and Asu kind of gets caught out there, and Boise State Orange, much like we saw on Hollywood, winning these early fights with some great picks, and unlike on a hybrid map, they are forced to stand on top of the control point, and they'll unlock it first. Until Goblin double kills.
On Bastion. I mean...
Can't flank on Bastion, you just stand still and turret for him. He's going to take Quidgeable out of the mech. Plato has gone down, and we know how much Goblin likes to be able to teleport back and forth. Frost trying to get the hack behind. He has been spotted out. Translocator is available if he wants to yeet it across the map, as we just saw. He won't do it, though, as Kel picks up a double kill. And Boise State Blue now going to flip the point at 23%.
They gave up 22% for that. But they do have Goblin ult and almost Nano. So things are looking not good for Boise State Orange to push into this, with the exception of the Sombra sitting directly behind the Bastion.
He almost just got shot out. Yeah, I mean, the only problem is, what, he's got an AFK for 55 more seconds to get the EMP online without doing anything. So now that Quidgeable's there, he's going to jump in. They're going to nuke Goblin from the face of the earth. Coalescence has been committed by Pleb as Boise State takes down an Orange, takes down another one. Asu goes down. Quidgeable out of the mech. He'll use the Diva Bomb to reset. This time it will be fully dodged. Boise State Blue looks like they're just waiting for a reset until Plato says, "No, I'll pick up 2. His life will be traded." But now a minefield committed by Guac. They've got the whole hog as well, but a nice hack from Frost. EMPs probably when he didn't need to, as it was overkill there. Guac and a large bagel both hit. Guac goes down. A large bagel still alive. And he's going to boot Quidgeable right off the edge.
To be honest, better to overkill than underkill against Boise State Blue. You want to guarantee the fight by any means necessary.
There's the EMP tank form that picks up 1 from Beanie Bum and is going to flip the point right back in Boise State's Blue favor. So still a very tightly contested map. I'll show you saw in Hollywood, but Blue's still coming out ahead right now.
I will say, to Orange's credit, Goblin is trolling just a little bit, going Bastion on control point man, just a tad. And Boise State Orange, for the most part, is getting him, is doing a really good job of countering him and killing him. They were taken by surprise at first, and then nano tank form is nano tank form, and you just kind of, you die to that if you can't line of sight it.
Well, there's going to be a trade 1-for-1, a hook off the edge, and a kill onto Plato.
Worth?
Whole hog off the edge
Not
onto
worth.
Pleb and onto Beanie Bum. Kel says, who needs to get kills? We can just knock him off the edge. 3 environmental kills. Icy's committed the Primal Rage, but Boise State Orange running out of time there. There's a nano onto Goblin. Doesn't even need a tank for him. Guac will roll off the edge. But Goblin's going to take down Icy. Quidgible has been antied there, taken out of the mech. Nice hook onto Frost, and Boise State Orange has got 1 scattered recontest.
Asu exists solely to pocket Goblin, and it is working very well for them.
Beanie Bum couldn't even get the sound barrier off. There's the tank form just for the memes. And Boise State Blue going up 1-0 here on Li Zhang. But Orange is really doing about all they can to make them work for it.
Boise State Blue is working for it. Boise State Orange is also working for it, but with a little bit less success, because Blue is doing this thing where they kind of force them into like little 1v1s, because that's what their comp is based around, right? All the heroes are relatively self-sufficient, and it's about doing lots of damage and trying to pick 1v1s that Boise State Blue knows that they will win.
Wait, this isn't
against
Quidgible. This isn't Diva. No.
Quidgible, it's
you
not,
must play Diva.
It's not Diva Orisa, guys. You can't get the huge halt bomb. You can't. I will say, though, that Plato is probably getting more value than Goblin was, at least on that last map, because Goblin was just getting pretty hard focused, and he had the Ana pocket, so he was able to get a lot of value. But Plato kind of popped off there, too.
I'm sure Goblin complaining. I can't flank on Bastion, please. Let me play the Doomfist, where I'm able to flank just a bit more, as he's able to take 1 down onto Beanie Bum. Plato now up above the rest of Orange. They have no idea he's there. He's going to mow down Rezo. The rest of the members of Boise State Orange do a nice job line of sighting, so Plato will send right on top of the point, and it's Boise State Blues to start off.
Smartly done by Boise State Orange, just kind of, you don't know where the Bastion is, and you're already down 1, so you just kind of back off and give them a little bit of the point. Unfortunately, they have let the Bastion set up, but this is control point, so there's not a ton to defend in there.
I'm not sure anyone on Orange quite knows where Plato is quite yet, as Goblin's going to get 1. Does look like Frost had found him out, shooting some laser balls right at his face, so he will just simply reposition there. And Boise State Blue going to get 1 more from Plato there, and somehow this control Bastion is working out just fine. Is that the Lego Bastion skin, by the way?
That is the Lego Bastion
skin. It's hard to see with the gold. Which
is an amazing skin. You can tell because it's much, much quieter when he's shooting, which I'm sure isn't necessarily the reason that Plato is using it. It's just an overall great skin.
I mean,
hey,
that's the rule, though. It's been established before you joined as a caster, D'Angelo. If you play Bastion in a game that allows skins, you must play Lego Bastion for Boise State. Been long established.
It's the skin. Got it.
So Plato, I'm glad he's playing it. As we see a great little fight win there for Orange. They drop Photon Barrier and Coalescence, able to pick up a couple. Nice hook onto Plato. He will retreat. He's almost close to the tank for him. He'll set up in a corner there. Guac and Kel going to turn it around, pick up a couple. Oh. Plato goes right into the turret form, rips apart poor Icy. There's the pulse bomb that will take down Goblin, though. Tank form's online. He's immediately going to pop it. Point has flipped over to Boise State Orange, by the way, as Blue kind of just retreated for no reason. He hops right on top of Quidgible and just shoots him in the face. Gonna try and turn the point back as tank form fades. Rezo picks up Goblin, and it's turned into a solo queue game of deathmatch. As neither team feels very interested in what's actually happening on the point. They just feel like killing each other. As Kel takes down Frost with the help from the Ant Matrix there from Asu. Large Bagel take down Beanie. Rezo, though, still gets Plato, and at this point, D'Angelo, this really feels like I'm watching a solo queue game at this point. I don't know.
It feels solo queue deathmatchy, which very much favors Boise State Blue, by the way, because when you're just solo queuing deathmatching, it comes down to mechanical skill. And that is something that Boise State Blue has over Orange, has over most teams. They're one of the top in the nation. So, I mean...
Like, how did Pleb solo kill Plato? This is so interesting. It doesn't matter. His Goblin's going to pick up 2. There's a Transcendence from a Large Bagel now. Whole hog from Quidgible does what he can, but it's not enough. His Goblin's going to make it a 3K. Point still being held. Boise State Orange in overtime now. They've got to be careful. Pleb does use the Cola to take down Asu. Minefield is dropped there. Grab is going to come out from Kel, and Boise State Blue is just going to wait for overtime to tick down, and they are now on to match point in the semifinals.
I will say that Boise State Orange, at least on Hollywood, was playing much better as a team. But now it's just kind of devolved into who can win the 1v1s. And to Orange's credit, you kind of have to do something about both Plato and Goblin, who are just kind of memeing and running around everywhere, wherever they want to run around. So, to their credit, you do have to kind of, not necessarily 1v1, you should turn on them as an entire team, but you do have to do something about that.
Do you think they pick Havana here?
I hope they pick Havana here. That would be very fun to watch, because we've seen Orange put up quite a bit of resistance playing as a team. What undid them in Hollywood was not a lack of skill, but because Boise State Blue pressed 4 Qs at once.
Yeah, I mean, but we did see them show signs of weakness on Havana. Illinois Wesleyan ran through the first close hold. So
we weren't ready for the Bastion. Now I think we're ready for the Bastion. As long as we don't have misplaced charges, we should be able to get a good close hold, and we want to do it together. We want to do it denying Plato and Goblin those solo kill, and Guac, those solo kill values that they want. And you also, if you have the opportunity to kill Kel, do it. Because he's spending most of the game at like 80% or higher charge and is just melting people. It's absolutely insane because he bubbles the ball every time the ball goes in.
I mean, Boise, I mean, it was something Northwood did against them, was using that ball as sort of a cooldown eater. Just throw the ball in. You throw everything at it, and then Wrecking Ball rolls out, and unfair
Wrecking
fight.
Ball rolls out, has gotten the Zarya a bunch of charge, and you're down a bunch of abilities. And then you just get murdered.
Man, you have no abilities, unfair fight, no ability advantage, but it's not going to be Havana. Boise State Orange, I guess, wants to save their win rate on that map.
Save their win rate on that map.
100% win rate, by the way.
We have a 100% win rate on Havana.
But you didn't pull it out against...
to assume that they couldn't have held blue in spawn.
Their choice, not mine. I didn't choose. I have no control over the map. If I did, I just pick Kings Row every time just to meme on everyone. But I have no choice over the map. This was Orange decision here. They're taking on blue. NECC semifinals. There will be a Boise State team in the final. That'll take place this weekend against the winner of Midland and Champlain. Midland, the 2 seed, probably favored in that matchup. They're the only team to take a map off of Boise State Blue in the regular season. So, would be the best matchup for them. They are also the runners-up in the NACE side of things. So, very talented team in Midland. If Boise State Blue will take them on. They've got to get past Orange here on our potential last map on Escort. Be curious to see how Orange does, because at this point it does feel like it's devolved into just some sort of yeet each other off as solo queue players.
Yes, and that is absolutely something that fits.
Okay, he can't flank on
that doesn't
Symmetra at least. We've done it.
That doesn't, I don't know, bold of you to assume.
He's going to just teleport into their spawn at this point.
Symmetra in Goblin's hands, I don't know, man. I think we'll see some cheeky Plato Widow flanks, because Widow is actually a hero that you want to take the off angles, which isn't necessarily flanking, because you're not like in them or close to them. But I think we'll see some crazy Plato off angles here. And Boise State Orange, a little bit of an uphill battle on the attack there.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Rezo on the Genjis, and they've got their own Nano Blade combination if they want to pull it out. Narbles gets one first onto Plato. Buff champion versus the Nerf champion, and that 25 HP making the difference. As Rezo's dropping incredibly low, he will have to retreat. Quidge will hit there by the anti-nade from Asu. Not really sure where Goblin put the Symmetric Teleporter, if at all, besides to just get defensively set up faster, as he will be taken down as well as a large bagel. And for now, Orange playing mostly as a team. Rezo's been trying to 1v1 people for the most part. Doing pretty good on the opening start here.
It's absolutely beautiful to watch Orange play like a team, because then they just kind of roll through Boise State Blue exactly like that. A team that they don't necessarily have any business rolling through, but they do when they play as a team, when they play together. Your McCree wins the long distance v Widow, and you push and do an amazing job. I'm not sure why they're ever trying to take the 1v1s, because they're so much stronger together.
Yeah, Goblin once again tried for the flank, couldn't find a nice two-man anti though going to land, as Guanc will pick up Narbles and Beanie Bump. We'll get slept for that, though. And Nano Blade's almost online for Boise State Orange. They're waiting on Rezo's last 7% as he's in the spawn. He did take down Plato once again. He's looking for Goblin, who's around the corner. There is a Gravitic Flux from Kel that's going to go down, as Pleb and Quidgeable will go down. And unfortunately, we talked about the team fighting aspect, and then you see Rezo 2 points deep trying to solo out Goblin.
That's not playing as a team, Rezo. I understand you need to charge your ultimate. But that's not playing as your team needs you. And did you notice that the second the tanks dropped without Beanie and Narbles, Guac just rolled in and murdered them? Did you notice that the second they weren't together, Guac capitalized on it? That's the whole point of Boise State Blues comp.
Well, they nanoed Guac, and I don't really know what they nanoed.
Funsies.
I guess. They have... Where are you, Rezo? You have the Nano Blade! Please! Find your Ana. No, we're going to solo down Plato. There's the Dragon Blade kind of coming out. He'll pick up one. He loses Pleb, so he's not going to get the Nano. He finds the second one, though, on the Goblin. Can't quite find the dash across the map, so they'll trade 2 for 1, and he's going to stand on the point all by himself, try for a back flank onto a large bagel, try and deflect all he can, and then get soloed out. And Orange is oh so close. The whole Hawk from Quinchable does take down Guac. Transcends from a large bagel is going to keep them alive. Minute and 12 seconds left on the clock. Several ultimates available. The rally from Beanie Bum is going to come out. Quinchable, though, will be taken out in a 1-for-1 trade. Nice hook onto Asu. Goblin, bang, bang. Going to win the fight between him and Narbles. Pleb has the Nano. Don't really know what he nanos now without a Dragon Blade. Right now, he's got to try and figure out a way to nano himself. He can't, and he will go down. And now Orange is devolving into what we've seen on the first 2 maps.
Which is not going to get them past this
so
first
close.
point.
They were literally so close. And then, you know, Rezo went out on a hero mission and threw away the Nano. Who does Pleb Nano at this point? Narbles on the Deadeye?
Or just Narbles in general. You don't necessarily always have to combo Nano with an ultimate. For example, Nano gets huge value just on a Reinhardt, regardless of whether or not he has
I knew tanks were the general target, but when you run Nano Blade, isn't the whole point to nano the blade as a large bagel takes down Rezo, so there will be no last Dragon Blade. Narbles does take down Kel, who used a Gravitic Flux, and it's a 1-for-1, and now a large bagel goes down. 9 seconds left, Boise State Orange has a chance to at least get 1 point off of Boise State Blue. Narbles this time wins the battle of the McCrees between him and Goblin. Supercharger has gone down from Icy, and here comes Guac. He'll come smashing down. Minefield going to be dropped. Very close to contesting the point here. It's going to take down Beanie Bump, however. Now they're able to take down Guac, and I'm guessing Boise State Blue will concede this point. They're contesting it right there. 0.75 meters from Plato's taken out. That was a Deadeye to reload, I'm going to guess. No! Oh, no! My man Deadeyed and walked into a mine. I blame Deadeye for that. I don't know why, but I do. And now Boise, we're just punching people to death now.
Boise State Orange just lost 2 people from walking into mines.
I like the Deadeye and then the mouse wiggle and then immediately canceled it. That was really fun. And then walked into a mine.
He was trying not to get shot in the head, I think is what he was trying to do there. Was not get shot in the head and continue shooting himself. Boise State Orange is...
Where is Rezo at this point?
It's not right there. It's not in the middle of your screen.
Soloing out everyone with a Dragon Blade.
Things are not looking very good for Boise State Orange to win this next fight, and you don't want that door to close behind you.
Like that?
Yeah, you really don't.
Well,
however, Narbles is winning the long distance fight with the Widow, which cannot be emphasized how cool that is, by the way.
Yeah, Narbles has been doing a really good job. Rezo now going to swap over to his own Widowmaker. He'll play with fire. See if he can win the long-range battle between himself and Plato. Goblin, he'll win that one. Somehow McCrees are beating Widowmakers. I'm not really sure how that works. Goblin's going to get another one. Goblin has realized it's fun time is over. That's a 4K for Boise State Orange or Boise State Blue, and now Orange has one last chance.
It's going to be really, really rough to get. It's always really rough to get a hit scan off of the high round just in general, but a hit scan with the skill of Goblin and Plato, you're going to have, you just get shot down like fish in a barrel. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Having low ground against really good hit scan costs you.
Nice Deadeye flank there from Goblin. Unfortunately, he did get found out, so he won't find anything. Rezo going to jump on top of him, so will Quidgeable. He'll fan the hammer and roll away. Reset the fan the hammer, but gets taken out by Rezo. And Boise State Orange at least finds Goblin. So when Goblin has tried the cheeky flanks, it hasn't worked. When he stood with the team and clicked on heads, it's worked pretty dang well.
When any of the 4 DPS have stuck with the team and clicked heads, it's worked out for them. But when any of the DPS have gone trying to do stupid cheeky flanks, because it's not just Goblin.
Yeah, that's true. Rezo's been on a couple solo missions, as we see Ace doing a large bagel, going to pick up a pair. Goblin and Plato finish off the rest. Squidgybolt does get Plato for his troubles, but with 3 seconds left and only Narbles alive, that is going to be where the orange dream will end. Just past point number 1, but they did get a point off Boise State Blue at least. On the map at least.
So it's not necessarily Orange's fault. So I mentioned earlier today that once that door closes on maps like Gibraltar or Junkertown or Havana like that, and you only have 4 points of attack, there are 4 doorways that Boise State Orange can come into. And all 4 doorways are walking into enemy high ground. So if you want to continue to push past point 1 on Gibraltar, you really need to push the payload past this area before you, because this area is the place to hold on defense, and we're getting a lovely little pan of it, which I totally appreciate, but this is where a defensive team could easily hold you for 5 minutes with like decent hit scan, let alone GM top 500 like hit scan.
So what you're saying is Orange should just sit here, concede first point, and then have a YOLO hold to win Gibraltar.
Fish, I believe. Fish, we're sitting on Bastion and Fish, I believe. Screw first point. Let's set up near the spaceship, I believe.
Unfortunately, I hate to kill your belief, but Rezo, whether it's his wallet or his decision, have broken the golden rule, and this is not Lego Bastion. I don't know if he doesn't have it or just simply chose not to use it, but you will not win on a Boise State stream without Lego Bastion if you are Boise State members. Beanie Bum, though, does pick down Plato, who has picked one of the easiest Cheeky Flame characters in the game on the Genji, and gets punished for it, as now Guac's going to jump in, as well as Kel. You see Goblin's over there. He's got a large bagel as well. Kel's going to pick up one to even things out. Goblin gets another one on the Beanie Bum. Going to line of sight, jump up, and picked out by Rezo. And the team's going to trade evenly. Meanwhile, large bagels below them.
When the spawns are that close, I'm not quite sure. A large bagel doing the Lord's work, pushing the cart there.
No one has cared what he's doing. They're like, hey. He's
now,
just going
Boise
around.
State Blue,
hey, he died
they
fine.
get
Good job.
probably some sort of, they get a recontest here, but it's scary. And if any of them start getting picked off now, they're probably gonna lose this first point. They need to survive if they want to continue to hold here. And Boise State Blue has switched over to their own Bastion, but hasn't been able to find any value yet. But now that he's going on a cheat flank, I don't know, man.
Well, he's gonna go turret for him. I don't think he knows he's walking into tank form. If Rezo wants to use it, they all know he's there. There he hears the tank form Tweedledee come out, and it will take down Asu and himself. I mean, to be fair, Goblin's not using Lego Bastion either, so I am just completely upset at this point. They do find 2, meanwhile, in Narbles and Pleb. Rezo, though, putting in some work. And when he's hung out with the team, he's actually done pretty well. As we see the Play-Doh Dragon Blade come out at 10 HP and die immediately.
To be fair, he was at full HP when that happened, but then he dashed towards the Bastion.
Why not you just deflect on the Bastion?
Because you're blading. I don't know. Deflect doesn't exist when you're looking at Bastion in the face. I don't know what you're talking about. However, because of that, Boise State Orange gets a hold here. We just need to not walk face into Guac's mines.
Nano on the Goblin's going to come out. There's a Matrix plus a Deadeye and a Rally going to come out. Kel will go down, but they'll trade it off for Icy. So 1 tank down on both sides. Quidgebolt's Grunic Fluxus, unfortunately tonight, have not been in his favor, and he doesn't find anything there. But the rest of the team will back him up. And it's a 4K for Boise State Orange. They're sitting pretty here to maybe force us to game number 4.
We didn't walk into the mines.
Woo!
And so we won the fight. Both Bastions have tank form, so it's going to be a battle of who can tank form better, because there's no support ultimates to help enable this, but there is a supercharger to try to give Rezo an advantage. So Rezo should be able to win the tank Bastion battle, and they have a shot at being able to hold this point and take a map off of Boise Blue.
Depending on where Pleb stands, they also might have an immortality field to throw down. Well, Rezzo's off. There he goes. There's the tank form for both of them. Goblin's going to get the first strike onto Beanie Bum. Guac has been taken out, so it's still a 1-for-1 as tank form ends there. Rezzo gets one onto Kel, so both Bastions get one as Goblin's forced to retreat, and Boise State Blue is starting to run out of time here. As Rezzo's trying to run away, but you will not out-heal incoming damage on a Bastion. Plato's going to get a pair, make it 3 here. And when everything looked like it was going Boise State Orange's way, Plato decides that he should probably try and finish the map, and he's going to add 2 minutes and 30 seconds on as time was nearly expiring.
Boise State Orange needs to win this next fight if they want to keep their dreams alive. And I mean, considering they're up 1, that's good. Considering they're down their Bastion, that's bad.
Narbles tried to flank on Kel and I believe a large Bagel who were trying to push the payload. Did just enough to slow them down, potentially. No one for Boise State Orange is near the parking space. No.
They lost both of their GPS doing, They lost things.
Yeah, that was an adventure, to say the least. Boise State Blue will advance to the finals. See if we can figure out who their opponent is going to be coming up this weekend. As we mentioned, as we heard from the commissioner of the NECC, Jacob Van Ryn, there are 9 championship games going on for the NECC this weekend. It's a jam-packed weekend, and we know one of them will include Boise State. They've also got Valorant, Rocket League, League of Legends, Madden, tons of different games. Overwatch was the only competition Boise State entered, so that's why they're not in any of the other ones, at least to my knowledge. We've only seen NECC on the stream so far. And quickly, who do you think the ICCU player of the game is? I thought we were getting the player of the game. This is just the bracket as we know. Blue is advanced. We'll see if Midland or Champlain advances. But who do you think is the ICCU player of the game for our 3-map deathmatch game we watched?
It's probably going to come to, I want to say... So, as irritated as I am with the 4 GPS and their deathmatch style of play,
it
is probably going to be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I would think maybe Plato or Goblin more often had better plays in terms. Oh, Midland advanced, by the way. So this will be a great game.
Rezzo did an amazing Boise State Blue, I believe. They did it once.
Midland
I believe
took
they can
a map
absolutely
off
do it again.
of them, though. Midland took a map off of them. So Midland
now,
has
were they playing as a team?
I
or were they
think
playing
for the most
team
part.
deathmatch?
I don't think they're playing team deathmatch. But coming up this weekend on the NECC's Twitch channel, you want to make sure you go check out Boise State Blue taking on Midland in the championship. We get the player of the game. D'Angelo thinks it's a DPS player, and it's Kel, who, as we're going to see right here, if Boise State Orange had just focused him down, would not have survived.
And I don't know what you're talking about. Kel was a DPS player for all of the time he spent on Zarya.
That's true.
Absolutely. So,
Like
I
right
mean...
here. You can't see his HP, but he's at 24.
Yep.
Turn around. Icy turn around. And then Narbles tried and whiffed on everything, and then he got healed.
No, he was bubbled.
But
Kel had a... Yep. And so, if they had just shot before that bubble, they were so close, and there were so many moments where Orange was just so close to greatness.
Yeah.
But not quite there. And, I mean, it's always a good day to be a Boise State fan. But it's an amazing day to be a Boise State fan when Boise State loses, but you're still going to the finals.
Yeah. I mean, one of those weird circumstances where Boise State wins. You know the Broncos were going to win, and I guess if you're a glass half empty kind of guy, you knew the Broncos were going to lose. So congratulations to Kel on the ICCU player of the great game, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. He also did have that environmental spree on Li Zhang where he hooked a guy off the edge and then double hole hog people off the edge. So a very worthy recipient as we see Rezzo's journey to another dimension.
Which one?
This one right here, the one we're watching.
There were a couple.
The music was great, too. I mean, he was just sneaking around. He'll die off screen in a matter of seconds. There he is, gets punched to death by Goblin. Really, it was just, a story of adventures tonight between Blue and Orange for the DPS player.
A story of just, a story of solo running adventures.
Yeah.
Narbles and Rezzo saw Goblin and Plato doing it, and they were like, that looks fun. So let's explore the maps, I believe. To Narbles' credit, he got a lot of value and played with the team most of the time. There were a couple times where he was caught out, but I mean, that happens with every player. They get caught out a couple of times. So I don't think Narbles was actively trying to cheeky flank at any point.
Everyone
to be fair to him.
trying to be like Goblin. Because Goblin's cheeky flanks, for the most part, didn't work. Boise State Orange was incredibly ready for it. But
Which is interesting.
they were like, let's try our own cheeky flanks, and it didn't work.
Yes. Cheeky flanks weren't getting value.
Yeah.
So let's do cheeky flanks of our own. It's almost like that one game where Boise State Orange was on the off-meta comp, but they won fights. At least they won fights, okay. So that makes it a little bit. But they encouraged somebody to swap off of the meta onto their comfort picks.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good night for Boise State Orange. I mean, yes, they lost the blue, but they did take down Illinois Wesleyan in a very, very contested match. So a top 4 finish for them. Coming up this weekend, as we said, it will be the finals for the NECC. The champion side, which, as we heard from the commissioner, is the higher-ranked teams. They also had contender from sort of lower-ranked and newer esports programs. So Boise State and Midland taking each other on. NECC Twitch page. Want to check that one out. Well, that will wrap things up for now. We have our top 5 plays, then we'll have our post-game press conference coming up with Doc Haskell wrapping up the evening in the NECC. So a big shout-out to D'Angelo for joining us for all of the NECC action, watching Boise State Blue advance to the finals. We'll take a short break with our top 5 plays, and then we'll be back with our post-game press conference with Doc Haskell to wrap up the evening's affairs. Ben in his favor, and he doesn't find anything there, but the rest of the team will back him up. And it's a 4K for Boise State Orange, and they're sitting pretty here to maybe force us to game number 4.
We didn't walk into the mines.
Woo!
And so we won the fight.
Oh, interesting. It doesn't matter. Goblin's going to pick up 2. There's a transcendence from a large bagel now. Whole hog from Quidgeable does what he can, but it's not enough as Goblin's going to make it a 3K. Points still being held. Boise State Orange in overtime now. They've got to be careful. Pleb does use the cola to take down Asu. Minefield is dropped there. Grab is going to come out from Kel, and Boise State Blue is just going to... There he hears the tank form Tweedly Deet come out, and it will take down Asu and himself. I mean, to be fair, Goblin's not using Lego Bastion either, so I am just completely upset at this point. They do find 2, meanwhile, to Narbles and Pleb. Rezzo, though, putting in some work. When he's hung out with the team, he's actually done pretty well. Boise State Blue is starting to run out of time here. As Rezzo's trying to run away, but you will not out-heal incoming damage on a Bastion. Plato's going to get a pair, make it 3 here. And when everything looked like it was going Boise State Orange's way, Plato decides that he should probably try and finish the map, and he's going to add 2 minutes and 30 seconds on as time. However, now they're able to take down Guac, and I'm guessing Boise State Blue will concede this point. They're contesting it right there. 0.75 meters for Plato to take it out. That was a Deadeye to reload, I'm going to guess. No! Oh, no! My man Deadeyed and walked into a mine. I blame Deadeye for that. I don't know why, but I do. Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena as we have all NECC season. We'll wrap things up with our post-game press conference with Doc Haskell, knowing that Boise State Orange a top 4 finish and Boise State Blue a shot in the finals. And Doc, we'll start with Orange, who, before we talk about the Blue versus Orange game, let's talk about their game against Illinois Wesleyan. Pushed to the brink, still sometimes a little bit too reliant on the old meta and relying on Frost to EMP them to victory. But what did you see in that 5-game epic series against Illinois Wesleyan?
You know, you guys keep talking about this old meta. Any meta that wins, anything that they're not prepared to handle is meta.
That's true. Any concern that Illinois Wesleyan totally ran through that Havana hold that we've seen them come through clutch time and time again this season?
No. You know, I mean, Callum Fletcher's their head coach there, and they are well prepared. They knew we were going to hold there. We made some adjustments in between the first and the second time we tried to do that close hold, and we got something better out of it the second time. So I'm not surprised at all. They were really well prepared, and they executed. They cleaned it out.
And then final question on that series. What will Quidgeable receive for the play of the semester?
Well, you know what? We're going to have an award show at the end of the year, and we'll see. We'll see if it gets enough votes to be the play of the semester. It's probably going to be a finalist, though. Ben's been doing an amazing job, and I know we don't usually talk about the difference between these two squads and their SR. But he's GM and could easily, Ben and Rezzo, both start on the blue squad. They're taking some opportunities to develop in the orange squad, but both of them are dang good teams. Yeah, I mean, blue and orange, both top 8 in NACE for orange, top 4 in NECC. Now let's talk about blue. Let's look at their championship game. They're going to take on Midland, a squad they know and love. Midland
Second place in NACE, lost to Northwood. Took a map off Boise State Blue in the NECC. What are your expectations for that game coming up this weekend?
Coach Ragsdale is going to have those kids ready to go, and that team wants to beat us more than anybody. So we have to be 100% prepared. Take them seriously.
And let's see, finals best of 7.
Yeah.
Any concern for fatigue if we go 7 maps? That's not something the Boise State's done all season.
No, we know what maps we want.
All right. He's prepared. Doc is ready, and I'm sure Doc is very happy he's got a team in the championship game for the NECC. As we heard from their commissioner, go check them out on their Twitch page, NECC Esports on Twitch. They're going to have 9 championship games, so it might be a little bit before you see the Broncos in the championship Overwatch bracket, but still going to be a ton of fun. Well, that will wrap up everything for tonight. Don't forget, ton of action tomorrow. Kick things off 2 o'clock Mountain Time on ESPNU. Boise State Rocket League taking on Mizzou in the round of 8 in the Maui Invitational. You want to make sure you check that one out if you can. And then we'll have some high school broadcasts later in the evening. So we've had a ton of fun with those. Cannot wait to see what's coming up. And then we'll have League of Legends on Saturday if you're interested. So it's going to be a ton of crazy things happening here for Boise State over the next couple of days. But that will wrap things up. Congratulations to Boise State Blue making it to the championship game. We'll see how they do this weekend against Midland. But until then, have a great evening.